Thank you, Buddha CEO Foundation, for organizing this event. Thank you all for choosing to be here today. The Consciousness Heals is the title of this workshop that we are presenting today. We'll be sharing all that what we have learned in summary in one day, and some tools that we will be learning here today. So we all know that across the globe there are many challenges in the world. So many challenges. One of the biggest challenge a human being is going through is about health. And we are spending trillions of dollars, money, for having to get health. So much we are spending. But in spite of all that medical technology that we have, we still are lagging behind. There are more illnesses, more diseases, more epidemics still happening. So this workshop is about mostly integrated medicine. This is what Sri Karthikeyanji also promotes everywhere, about integrated medical care system. Not only one system like a Western medicine, because I'm trained as a Western allopathic medical doctor, myself and my wife, Dr. Lakshmi, but we also explored other areas of complementary healing methodologies, particularly meditation as a primary tool to heal ourselves. How meditation itself can bring such health, mental health, emotional health, and also spiritual health and physical health as well. So today we will look into this, how we can all bring this integration of all medical system. We cannot exclude any medical system. Even allopathic medical system has its own value and significance. Emergencies, there is no other way. If bones are broken, we have to go to orthopedician to fix the bones. If we meditate and heal, bones will not get healed. They may get healed, but in a wrong way. We will be with the curved bones, and it has to be properly set. We need whatever in the universe, nothing will just exist randomly. When some medical system emerge, it means it is catering to some needs. But mostly, our observations, we all know that indiscriminate use of medication like antibiotics to all kinds of painkillers and also anti-cancerous chemotherapeutic agents, all that is not really creating health, more complications, more side effects. We realize that. So it's better that prevention is much better than cure. Before landing into a doctor's doctor's consultation room or in a hospital, it's better that we equip ourselves and we'll be fit mentally, emotionally, and physically and spiritually. That's how we can deal with that situations, even though we have some illnesses, chronic illnesses. Because as a human being, we're bound to get some illness and disease. Definitely. Disease is not just because some defect in us, something we are lagging behind. Disease is not about that. Today I'm going to present to you about how disease is an indirect teacher. It is just making us wake up to our true self. And it's providing us some opportunities to learn. That's why we should not feel ashamed when we have an illness in the body. Oh, something wrong with my body. Body is such a beautiful, intelligent mechanism that is set. It knows how to repair itself. Only we need to recognize certain principles that are working in alignment to the universal divine principles. So, first of all, I invite today's morning session. It goes till 1:30 p.m. In between, we will have some tea break, and after that, 1:30 to 2:30 is the lunch break. Later on, till evening 5:30, 6 will till the end. We will today, end of the day, we will learn about some topics that we plan to today share with you. Is the first one is what are the main premises, the principles of self-healing? Healing it means wholeness. It's all self-healing. We learn more about self-healing, how to heal ourselves. That's what is about consciousness. Consciousness has the ability to heal, facilitate healing process. And the second session is some tools that we are going to learn. The main tool in the morning session that we're going to learn is about holographic method. It's a very, very simple yet very profound method. So we learn about that. And in this afternoon, we will also learn about additional tools like body communication, how our body cells are communicating with us. They're speaking to us. If we can learn to listen to the body will actually tell us what to do. Even the solutions it will provide to us. Body has such wisdom and such a wise teacher also. Every cell in the body is so much intelligent. There are trillions of cells working for us with different roles and functions. Different systems are working together in unison. Cardiovascular system, musculoskeletal system, nervous system, and your endocrine system, all systems together, they are really serving a beautiful purpose. Your soul, which is residing in this body, is celebrating this life. The soul in us, the Jivatma, which has come inside this physical body, is enjoying this entire life. This body is really called a sacred temple. Deho devalayo prokto, jivo devo sanatanaha. This temple, sacred body, this body is called temple. It's already full of intelligence. Only thing is we need to make friendship with this body. Not to treat this body as some inferior, some defective manufacturing piece, but instead know that this body is already serving so well. And if we communicate and listen to what body is whispering to us, it tells us about why an illness has come, why some symptoms are staying inside this body. So today we learn in the afternoon also this process called body dialogue. It's a simple process, but we can all be benefited from that. So I am a student of Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. I was confused and lost as a teenager, and I don't know why I'm born and why I'm studying in a college. And at the time I was a medical student and full of bad habits. I was smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol as a young teen, and I don't know, I'm just wasting my life at that point of time. And one day in a bus, traveling bus, the co-passenger started speaking to me and told about meditation. For the first time, I came to know about meditation. So I asked him about who taught you all these things. I never knew about this. He talked about Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. So it's in 1989, month of December. So I requested him to take to this guru. When I met Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, I was shocked to see him because he was a young man at the time. He was 45 years old with no beard. He is wearing t-shirt and a jeans pant. And he shook hands with me, welcomed me into his home. And I thought a guru must have a beard. A guru must wear a saffron robes. Then he will be qualified to be a guru. All these notions about a guru. Then he looked into my eyes, even without myself speaking about these ideas and thoughts, crazy thoughts. He told Guru need not wear saffron robes and rosary beads, and no need to have sandal paste, and no need to have special clothes. And a Guru is the one who is an enlightened one. He told, whatever questions that you have about life, I know all the answers. But I will not give you any answer. But I teach you the way, how to find your own answers. That's what Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, he taught me that day Anapanasati meditation. And he's a really straightforward and very hard teacher. He told, don't come and meet me for 40 days. I taught you how to meditate. Every day practice 3 hours meditation. Given me that task. Only if you fulfill that, criteria of 40 days meditation and 3 hours every day, then you come and meet me. And you can ask me any question at the time. So I practiced it. Initially for 10 days, 15 days, it was struggle. The mind was not quiet. But end of 40 days, completely, my mind vanished completely. My mind became zero and empty. There was no thought at all. I found the switch inside my mind. I carried that tranquil mind from that time. And I know I reaped so many benefits out of this meditation. All my habits, which was taking away my energy, my precious time, all habits went away. I stopped smoking, no craving for smoking, no craving for drinking alcohol, nothing. It just vanished. I know how powerful, how simple meditation process is, how it can heal us, how it can enlighten us. So it is 30 years that I have been practicing meditation. Even now, also every day I give myself the time to practice meditation. Because I know it's like fuel. Our car needs to run on the road and we need fuel. Every day we need fuel. Every day we need to recharge ourselves. So, my deep gratitude to Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji for bringing so much light into this world by introducing this meditation path to rural community, to across the globe. Now there are millions around the globe who are following this simple method, breath awareness. He simplified it so easily for everyone to follow. So, my dear friends, I would like you to write 3 goals for this morning session, morning and afternoon session also. Entire day is about self-healing. Because this energy that we are investing, our time that we are investing, our attention that we are investing, we can also be benefited from it. So, write about 3 goals. It could be your physical health or something which is really bothering you in your life. Any kind of health, mental health, emotional health, social health also. Because WHO defined health as not just absence of the disease, absence of symptoms. Somebody is having a very fit physical body and we can't call him as a healthy person. He may get violent outbursts and very aggressive emotions and he can't control his emotions. He is a very angry person. We can't call him as a healthy person. So, health is defined as not just absence of the disease or absence of symptoms. It is the well-beingness of the physical body, well-beingness of the mental mind and emotions, well-beingness and the social well-beingness, and also WHO defined it as spiritual well-beingness. The spiritual dimension is added to this definition. So most forgotten aspect is spiritual, because consciousness is the root of healing process to everything, awakening to enlightenment. Consciousness is the root. Final fruit is the health in all dimensions, all aspects of life. So, write 3 goals for this session that we are now going through. Any 3 goals, because we all have symptoms. Symptoms like itching to allergy and some asthma, diabetes is so common nowadays, lifestyle disorders and hypertension, and even insomnia is the biggest now, the challenge, not getting sleep. People are not able to sleep well. They need a medication to sleep. Or people have anxiety, nervousness, restlessness. So many problems, endocrine gland problems, thyroid, endocrine glands are not functioning well, or they have some eye problems, or ear problems, or strange, there are thousands of illnesses. So, thousands of symptoms that we go through. So, what is that you are aiming at to heal yourself? And there are few more questions that I will be asking you. What would you like? The first thing is whatever you would like. For example, I would like to heal this kind of symptoms that I have since 6 months, 1 year, or since childhood. Whatever that you have, I would like to heal myself. We need to be very clear about what we would like to achieve, what we would like to have as an outcome, as a result. Because a manifestation is easy and simple. Only thing is we need to have very clear mind. What would we like to really experience in our life? Health is one of the very important aspects. If you have health, you are the wealthiest person in the world. Even if we have all the richness, diamonds, gold, money, bank account, but still it's not the real treasure, real wealth. If somebody is not able to digest and eat, appreciate the food, even though they have everything served on a gold plate and this gold platter, and you have all the options, but you're not able to digest the food, and you're not able to really dance, celebrate your life, you're so sad inside. So the real treasure that we need to find, health is a real treasure. It is possible that we can also welcome this health into our life. So what would you like? The first question. So what will having this do for you? What will having this healed medical condition, healed limitation that you have, itching to all those strange symptoms that we have, pain, chronic pain that we have, or chronic infection that we have, inflammations that we have, inflammatory conditions. What will having healing of these symptoms do for you? What will happen if you are free from your arthritis? Probably you will be able to walk very well in your life. You will be able to celebrate more, right? So we need to look at what will having that do for us. Definitely it is going to be much more freedom that we experience when we are free from limitations that are shown up in the body. And how will you know when you have this particular health? that you are aiming at, that outcome is achieved by you, how will you know it? What are the indicators that is indicating to you that I have reached to the healthy state? Maybe your breathing will remind you. Your breathing is more deep and very, rhythmic breathing, regular breathing, instead of shallow breathing. So you have some indicators, that good feeling, a well-being feeling that comes into you when you have that optimal health. And the last question is, what might you lose that you value when you have this outcome? Particularly, we are focusing on free from limitations of the symptoms, or when you are healed of that illness or disease. What might you lose if you don't have the arthritis? What might you lose if you are free from that endocrine gland problem? Actually, many of us, we feel this question as strange. I don't lose anything. I gain. When I have health, more celebration, more joy. But it's not true in all people. There are some kind of secondary gains also we get out of an illness. For example, a woman who is feeling so much burden because so much of work in the home, she has many dreams to fulfill, but she has to do everything for the family. Lot of workload. And mother-in-law is very strict. You have to do a lot of work. Every work she has to do. So there's no excuse. She can't escape the work. Only way is if her body is little bit sick. She developed arthritis. She can't walk. There's swollen knee joint. And doctor said, no, you can't walk. X-rays reports are showing that it is arthritis in the 3rd grade and you should not walk. You must be bedridden. Rest for 4 months, 5 months. She has now, this sickness is serving a beautiful purpose. If I heal, I have to continue working. So there are, why we delay our healing process, why we don't want to heal ourselves, because we are also getting some benefits out of it. They're called secondary gains. Our subconscious is so clever. There's subconscious mind. These conscious minds want to heal, but your subconscious says, if you heal, you have to, you will not have attention and love from people, or you have to be very responsible and you have to work so much. If you are healthy, if you have some sickness in the body, you have an excuse. So your subconscious has a different way of actually looking at things in life. So that's why this question will bring us that information. What might you lose that you value if you are completely healthy? Or you may apply this question to any field. For example, many want to succeed in their life, but they go to the 99th step and come back. There's some self-sabotage or some sabotage mechanism that works and they can't succeed. They fail. So, what might I lose if I succeed in my life? What might I lose if I become the topper, reach to the highest plateau I reach, highest mountain peak I reach? Maybe hidden fears are there. Fear that I may become too visible to people. There are jealous people that I attract if I become too successful. It's better that I will be in the low profile. I will be in the background, not to come to the foreground so much. So, always these questions will bring so much valuable information. So, at least 1 or 2, can you speak about your goals For example, you can say those goals as, I would like to be free from my problem with the eyes, or this maybe a medical condition called glaucoma. Could be glaucoma means high ocular pressure. So it's a chronic medical condition for many. And instead of saying that, you can say that I'm healed completely in my eyes. My eyes feels very light and I'm able to see clearly. So as if it's already healed, you can say that. So one or two whoever are brave and courageous to speak, you're welcome, most welcome. So I will pass on the mic to you.
Morning, sir.
Blocking the mic, the video.
I would like to be free from certain autoimmune conditions I'm facing after my recovery from leukemia.
After recovery from leukemia.
Leukemia.
So you want to reframe that as I am completely recovered from my autoimmune condition post leukemia, post treatment of leukemia, post healed condition from leukemia.
I'm completely recovered from the autoimmune conditions.
Exactly.
Post recovery from leukemia.
Fantastic, fantastic. Because this is how, in a positive way, we say, because we are sowing the seed of the future possibility even now itself. Thank you. What will having this do for you? Can you come here, ma'am? Yeah, so that everyone can see you.
It would bring complete freedom to my life, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness.
What will having complete freedom and joy do for you? When you have freedom and joy, what will it do for you?
I'll be able to live a full life. I've really been wanting to live a full and authentic life. And I understand that the illness was a result of me living very inauthentically, living out of shame and fear.
Yeah.
So now that I have that awakening and understanding, I believe I've received the message from the illness. And I feel now it's time for it to release completely. I'm getting stuck at the last step. It's just not releasing.
Correct.
That autoimmune part is just not going away.
So what will having this authentic living do for you? And
it'll fulfill me completely.
It fulfill you completely, because I'm asking, because she actually is going into much more deeper goal that she has kept for herself. What will having fulfillment do for you? When your life is fulfilled, what will be your life? How will you feel? How will you experience your life?
I feel fearless, joyful.
Yeah.
I'll be who I am.
When you are yourself, when you are who you are, what will having that do for you? You're fearless, and what will having that do for you?
It'll be a complete life.
Complete life. Yeah, this is your goal. True goal is when you are complete, when you recognize that you are already complete in your life, not lacking in anything, then all that, like a chain reaction, like a fulfillment, authentic living, freedom, you're free and you're just flowing in your life, all that happens very naturally. You have your autoimmune disorder or whatever that limitation, it gets naturally transformed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, our subconscious has all that knowingness, a deeper knowingness. Our deeper consciousness has all the information. Only thing is, some right questions need to be asked by us. We ask these few questions here. What would I like? What will having this do for me? How will I know when I have it? What might I lose when I have this outcome? What might I lose that I value when I have this outcome? So these are very, very important questions that to be asked. So, as a human being from childhood, we all have some kind of experiences. There is a history of illness from the day one also. First day when you're born, many of us born in a hospital with some kind of difficult labor. Mother went through a lot of pains. There is a delayed labor inside the womb and you stayed for a long time. And doctors has to use the forceps or some injections, some chemicals were given to the mother to facilitate birthing process. Or could be that they have to use a C-section. Or you are a little bit of distress, you are born with some kind of problem you are born when you are born as a newborn being. So day one itself, many of us, we have some kind of limitations that we went through. There is something called neonatal jaundice. As a child, you are born with jaundice and you are kept inside, incubator because you need some kind of support. So at that time, a child feels separation from the mother because we lived inside the womb of a mother for 9 months, cozy, warm ambience. Suddenly you are very cold, very hostile, very, very harsh conditions outside. There's no one that you could bond with, and you are kept in a kind of machine which throws so much light, a blue light or some light, and it's so scary for a child as a newborn. There is something called separation anxiety. One of the reasons that we found for many people experiencing anxiety in their life, they feel anxious. Sometimes when it goes beyond a threshold, from 0 to 10 scale, it is 9 to 10, they go into panic attacks also. It becomes more generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder. So there are many, along with this, many medical conditions we have been going through. As a child, many fevers, bronchitis, and mumps, measles, chicken pox, very common. Some viral problems, influenza, and apart from that, many other conditions as a child we all went through. And as a child, I used to manifest almost every 15 days a disease, an illness. Later on, when I came into meditation path, this awareness came to me. As a child, I want to abscond from the school. I do not want to go to school. I want to stay with my mother because I used to miss my mother and father a lot. So I used to get fevers, get cold, cough, bronchitis, allergy, and all that. I'll stay at home a long time because I'm getting so many benefits out of that. So, what are your childhood illnesses? And with some illnesses, they continue. And some illnesses, just in the only childhood, where they vanish later on. But as an adult, you had a different kind of illnesses, different things you manifested. Why I'm saying you manifested is nobody is cursing. Disease is not a curse. All of us have some misconceptions, wrong notions that disease is a curse. And if someone gets disease, we think it's a bad karma. Some bad karma you have done in the past life. Purva janma prutam prapam vyadi rupena pichate. We say that in Sanskrit sloka. It is not applicable for all medical conditions. It's not due to some sin that we have done in the past life that a disease is coming. Disease is not a curse. Disease is not just because of some external challenge which influenced your body to create disease. Bacteria and virus, I will tell about this today. The notion that bacteria and virus are enemies, we treat them as enemies. Actually, I am going to present to you that how they are all beneficial. They are part of the ecosystem, bacteria and virus. The new current medical research says that. So we'll talk a lot about that. We have fear and bacteria and virus a lot. When we're shaking hand with anybody, almost 1.5 lakhs of bacteria and virus getting exchanged through just one shake hand. And when one saliva drop is going, it has so many, or 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs bacteria virus. We are full of bacteria and virus of body and entire body. We all know that there is a gut health which is maintained by bacilli, certain bacilli are maintaining the gut health. When we eat yogurt and curds, it is actually like a probiotic. It is creating gut health. We all know that they're all helpful. Somewhere we have developed wrong notions about bacteria, virus, external things is going to create the disease in the body. But there is a different paradigm we learn today, different understanding about how an illness is an adaptive survival mechanism. Just it's an adaptation mechanism. For example, when we go to mountaineering, to the top of a mountain, you lack oxygen because the oxygen is very less there and there is a huge demand for oxygen. Your lungs have to capture a lot of oxygen. You will respire more. You will be breathing more. But there must be more hemoglobin, RBC cells, in order to capture more oxygen. Immediately your body sends the signals to your bone marrow to produce more hemoglobin. I want more hemoglobin, more RBC cells, red blood cells, so that I can capture more oxygen. So that's why most of the mountaineering people, almost all, when we take the sample, blood sample, test them, they have high hemoglobin content. Because it's a natural adaptation mechanism. It's all happening every moment. Our body is so intelligent. It's preparing whatever you needed. It is big pharmaceutical industries existing inside our body. For example, someone has a problem with the liver. There is a hepatomegaly condition, liver enlargement. Doctors diagnosed it. Later on, they diagnosed that there is a liver tumor also. The liver cancer, it is not just benign, it's malignant. So, what is the mechanism? Why the liver has to multiply itself and become a tumor? If we understand our biology there's no errors. It is also survival mechanism. Our liver is a primary glycogen storage unit. It stores glycogen, and it's all the food reserves are stored in the liver. Whatever that we eat, and major part of it is stored in the liver. So whenever you have what is called starvation conflict, what is starvation conflict? I don't get food tomorrow because I lost my job. I'm fired from my job. How do I survive? How do I feed my family with food? Or even any kind of fear or subconscious goes through because something that's happening around us, the signals that goes to the liver, it tells that now we need to be alert. We produce more liver cells. Can lead to hepatomegaly and also tumors. In that way, our body responds. So biology, it is called biologic. There is a logic for everything. Even your biology has its own mind. It thinks. That's why many medical conditions are our own manifestations. We are all manifesting sickness, illness in the body without exception. It's all done through subconscious mind, not conscious mind. Conscious mind always wants health only. But our subconscious has a different logic, which is connected straight away to the body cells. So, a woman who has chronic recurrent UTI, urinary tract infection, for example, it's the most common in the women and also men. So there's a burning micturition, burning urination, and a lot of pain while urinating, and also sometimes goes into a lot of fever, high temperatures, all that symptoms, and it is recurrent. What is the logic behind it? We'll be so surprised to see the connection between before any symptom appears in the body, few months before, or even sometimes few weeks before, some event happened in our life. Something very, very disturbing, distressing, very stressful, could be even traumatic also. Always it is the case. We can check with our own symptoms. Before this symptom, few months, few weeks before, what happened in my life? What was happening emotionally for me? We'll be so surprised with the information that we get. There is a connection. So for this woman, she was going through very difficult, challenging situations because her boundaries were not respected. Nobody is respecting her boundaries. Boundaries means everyone has a boundary. If someone comes into their personal space, violating the boundaries, it's not good. Without permission, someone is entering into the space. Nobody appreciates that. The respect for the boundary is so important. So in the animal kingdom, have you noticed that every animal has their own territory? Dogs are very territorial. Whenever another strange dog comes into the territory, they have a fight, territorial fights. And humans are not different. A dog marks the territory. All animals, if you go to safaris or go into forest, you watch that. You see all the animals urinate, mark the territory. Urine has a kind of smell that it leaves, a kind of, it's like marking the territory. Another animal can know that this is not my urine, this is not my territory, some belongs to someone else. I need to respect it. So they mark the territory. Human being is not different. We're also animals because all animals were our ancestors also. Millions of years of evolution, our biology is still carrying. This neuronal system we are carrying. So our primitive brain, reptilian brain, called third part of the brain, our brain stem, which is mainly for a center for respiration. It maintains whether you are respiring well, your heart is beating or not. Your survival mechanisms are taken care by your brain stem. Here, exactly this place. This is third part of the brain. The second part is called midbrain. And the latest neocortex is called this entire big brain that we have, which is called creative brain, which thinks, which can innovate, which is very creative brain. But this brain, which is the animal brain, reptilian brain, carries all that all that evolutionary process. That's why there is a logic behind all the symptoms that we experience in the body. If we listen to our body tells the story. It knows exactly what's happening inside us. So, what is your health quotient? And the question that I want to ask you. Because I told the definition of health is it's a state of complete physical health and mental health, intellectual health, social health, and spiritual health as well. What is your health quotient? We need to consider all domains: mind, emotions, social, intellectual, and physical, and also spiritual. There's a spiritual well-beingness. For example, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, He is an enlightened master, a Brahmagnani. We can't call this master having sarcoma, a tumor, cancer of the thigh, as has a low health quotient, because whatever that spiritual health, he had everything in it. So that we can't compare, we can't analyze that kind of scenarios. But he is the most healthiest master, even though his body has a limitation, because he has a spiritual health. In spite of sarcoma, till the fag end of the life, there is no complaints. Never complained that I have pain because of that. Disciples were feeling the pain of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, and they said, one doctor, surgeon said, I will operate Swamiji, please give me permission. Bhagavan said, you operate me without anesthesia. I don't want any chemicals to be pumped into my blood. I want to be operated, go ahead, and but don't put any anesthesia. So he operated on it without anesthesia. So he is the mostly spiritual health. Spiritual health is the really what we are aiming at. How we can get the spiritual health? Meditation practice, meditation practice, meditation practice, and awakening ourselves, awakening the wisdom inside us, and enlightenment. Knowing about ourselves in totality is enlightenment. That brings the whole of the health to us. Your body goes through its own changes. And as a practitioner of meditation, I have seen many people healing themselves. That's why I promote self-healing. Before we go to any medical doctor, first attempt healing yourself. Only if it is not really getting cured and there's so much difficulty, limitation, then we can go and take the help. But first we need to try self-healing methods. So we were living in a Newtonian mechanistic world. My name is Newton. I sometimes don't like my name as a child also, because my father thought I will become a great scientist, and that's what his intention, but it brought me so much trauma to me as a child. In the school, all the teachers were expecting me to always get good marks, first mark only, but I am failure in the school. I used to be a backbencher all the time. I don't remember things well. I'm not born to just be an educationist. I used to like to have fun and sports and games, and meditation is my fun, and meditation is my real passion in life. So Newtonian field is called mechanistic field. Means if we have this viewpoint that everything in this universe, physical universe, is like a machine, and your body is a machine, we consider that. Our medical system right now considers this body as a machine. This is a yantram. This is a machine. Any problem is there, plumbing work. One tube is blocked, remove the tube and put a new tube. How many times where coronary arteries removed and bypass or open heart surgery is done, but again it gets closed. There's a problem that comes after 10 years or 15 years. A knee joint replacement. Oh, problem with knee joint, put new artificial, another knee joint. And okay, now medical field is working to create organs for people. It's good. Not that it's bad. When any organ fails, it's good to have an alternative. But it's all thinking that this body is a machine. But body can restore itself, repair itself. This is called quantum science view, quantum view. Our quantum view is nothing but our rishis, yogis viewpoint. Our ancient Bharat, rishis and yogis always viewed this universe as intelligent, dynamic, energetic universe. Everything is energy. Even if this body is not just atoms and molecules and bones and bag of bones and blood, it's more than that. It's just energy, a bundle of energy. It's a beautiful body. If we can change our viewpoint, our body responds to it. If we consider ourselves as a soul living in this body, and this body is responding to that new perspective, new viewpoint that I am the soul, you have access to, unlimited, boundless energy. We are actually, that's the truth. How could a Himalayan yogi could survive, live for thousands of years? They don't eat food, they don't drink water. But how they are living? I met a yogi, not 1,000 years, but 348 years old yogi I met. I witnessed with my eyes. I interacted with him. I spent time with him for a week. I believe it's believable because I met an immortal. We generally think that we only live for just 100 years. But they say they defy all the laws of physics. They say that your body reverses the aging process, but you need to understand what is behind this body, what is creating this body, what is the intelligence which is working behind this body. This is the quantum science view. On quantum physics, our science has been exploring a lot about subatomic particles and energies and all that. It really is matching with discoveries made by our ancient yogis and rishis in India. A round of applause to our Bharat Desh and our masters in India. Patanjali Maharshi to all the sages, all the Vasishtha Maharshi, Vedavyasa and Valmiki Maharshi. There are thousands of such masters. The wisdom is still there in India. So medical science and spiritual science are not different. All that what we learn in Adhyatmik Shastra, Dhyana Shastra, it is nothing but Vaidya Shastra. It is nothing but medical science. It is applicable here in the health field. So, love transplant instead of heart transplant. So generally when heart is not working, like a plumbing work and replaced with a new heart. But this heart is the center of love, unconditional love, pure love. When we don't receive love, when we are not able to love others, express our love, also we feel heavy in our heart. Many people talk this language nowadays. Oh, my heart is broken into pieces. Relationship failures, immediately heartbreak. My heart is broken. Really, many people land up in the hospital. They have ECG waves which shows that changes in the ECG. They diagnose angina pectoris and myocardial infarction, and immediately, within a day, the coronary arteries get blocked and we go through all that, whatever medical procedures, angioplasty, stent. So instead, love transplantation. What happened before this last few days, a few weeks, a few months? We need to know why this heartbreaking thing happened to you. So now a new branch of science, well researched by even modern medical doctors, is psychoneuroimmunology. Your psychology, neurology, and immunology intricately connected. They are not different. Whatever is happening in your psyche, your psychology, your mind, your conscious mind and subconscious mind, it constantly, the signals are going from your neurology. Your neurology is observing your headquarters, your brain centers. It's like a computer, a big computer, biocomputer, is giving signals to the body. Exactly how many immunoglobulins to be produced, what to do, what kind of secretions, enzymes, hormones to be released in the body, everything, and precisely these signals are going all the time. Psychoneuroimmunology. So we know that psychosomatic nature of all the illnesses are psychosomatic illnesses. Our diseased body is telling us about turbulent mind, the mind which is turbulent. A turbulent mind is telling us about the intellectual immaturity. Our intellectual immaturity is telling us about lack of self-knowledge, not knowing about who we really are. If we know that we are ECWs, energy, consciousness, wisdom, we are energy beings, we are consciousness which is non-linear and non-local, which is all-pervading, which has no limitations whatsoever. We are wise beings, all of us. Even though your brain, your mind says that you don't know anything, but still, we are very wise beings. There is wisdom inside all of us. Our soul carries that seed of wisdom. So, when we have all that knowingness about who we really are, then you have intellectual maturity. Your intellectual maturity creates a tranquil mind. A tranquil mind creates a healthy body. A diseased mind, a sick mind creates a sick body. As is your mind, so is your body. We know that someone who is always a negative person, who thinks negatively, for example, a fear that, oh, I'll get cancer because my father has, my grandfather has, my many generations, there's a cancer. 50th year, they go through some problem. If you think and repeating the same thought like a mantra many times, what happens to us? We manifest that. But someone who is a meditator have a breakthrough. The thought process, which is continuously like a chattering box, which is happening in our mind, which is creating this diseased body, we break that cycle. So, mind-body medicine is the future medicine. In the future, all the hospitals, this is what the vision of many masters around the globe, they want to see, all of us also, we want all hospitals to be meditation centers primarily. There must be a meditation center also in the hospital. Apart from all that support also. Because a person first need to be sent to meditate in the hospital. And if they require a medical support, definitely they need to be given the medical support. But first, they must be provided all the natural way of healing methodology. Even in the same hospital, all the integrated systems will be there. Part of that is homeopathy, acupuncture to Siddha medicine to Reiki, pranic healing to whatever. We have thousands of complementary methodologies. All need to be available in one place. And of course, even allopathy need to be part of that integrated medical care system. So, and the top of all that is the meditation, consciousness. If someone is a regular meditator, they heal themselves. If someone has awakened their consciousness, awakened their wisdom within, they heal. Someone knows and utilize their own energy to heal their body, they can heal that. So it is going to be the tip of the pyramid at the highest point. Whatever that our mind thinks, have faith upon, it really works very well. One day, one patient has stomach pain, abdominal pain in the night, rushed towards the doctor, but doctor was shutting down the clinic, and doctor said, no, I have to go to home. It's already night. I can't open the shutter now. And the patient said, oh, I'm going to die with this stomach pain, abdominal pain. Last 2 hours I'm suffering. Doctor thought, okay, then in that case I'll give you a very strong pill. I have one. He brought something from his pocket and he gave that pill. He said, you don't swallow it. Keep it in your mouth. All night you chew it. But don't swallow it. Don't bite it. and your pain will go away, because it's a very powerful medicine. He put that, and after 1 hour, pain vanished. In the morning, he was curious, what is that I am carrying? I'm not, doctor said, don't chew it, don't bite it, and don't check it, what it is, just throw it out. But instead he checked, it's a coat button, It worked for him. But after coming to know there's a coat button, all his symptoms came back. This is placebo. So, 50% of the symptoms are cured because we have faith in the doctor. When we go to the hospital, doctor is spending time with you for 15 minutes to nowadays, not even 15 minutes, 1 minute. Did you get all the reports done? Just check the reports. Doctor is not even looking into the eyes and face of you. No checking BP, no pulse, nothing is taken nowadays. Doctor is so busy, they have to see 200 patients. So only just write the medication. You get these things done, that's all. So, but a person who has so much trust in the doctor, and doctor is spending time asking questions and explaining things, and the person is 50% healed already. 50%, well-beingness. 50% symptoms are already gone. It's the placebo effect. We can observe that. There's a faith healing. It's a very powerful healing methodology. Even we have some kind of placebo effects when we go to a temple, that in this particular temple, it's very famous for healing. It became so popular because of that. If you have this particular disease, you go to this temple. When we go into that temple, because of our own power of the mind and faith, we get healed. Many people I have seen with my own eyes, psychiatric illnesses. In Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, there are some temples recommended for that. Even psychiatrists could not cure those psychiatric issues, but the temple will heal. They will go and sleep there for 24 hours. They get a dream, they are healed. Because the placebo. We do not know really whether there is a divine force and orchestrating all that healing process. We do not know. But people are getting healed. But through science, we know that this is a power of our own mind. As you believe, as you have faith in some system, something, it really functions. It works very well. So there was a study test, experimental things done in a hospital by medical team, medical doctors. They have divided a group of patients like typhoid patients in a ward particularly. So 50 patients are given medication, 50% placebo. They said this is a German new antibiotic release, it works very well, that's all they told. And they were given just a sample pills like some nutritional pills, vitamin B capsules. Others are given proper antibiotics. These people who are given just vitamin tablets were healed faster, actually, within 2 days. But they took almost more than 10 days with proper antibiotic. It's the placebo effect. So we notice that, if you believe in your mind, if you have such faith, particularly faith in your own self, belief in your own self, your soul is real doctor for you. Your soul is a real physician. Even though I'm not promoting that you must stop going to the doctors. All doctors will become enemies to me now. They will attack me. All pharmaceutical industries will also be enemies. But only if you require, we need to really take medical support. If it is emergency, you must take medical support. Otherwise, we must try our own self-healing methodologies. So our brain is constant, our brain and our whole body is producing some kind of hormones, enzymes, constantly they are released. Particularly brain releases these enkephalins and neuropeptides, endorphins, the painkillers, serotonin, melatonin, which are very, very helpful, which creates the well-beingness, which maintains your proper immune system. If there is a pain, you have a headache, and your body exactly knows what neuropeptides, what quantity to be released. Only thing is you need to trust the body. Any pain in the body, we worsen the pain because of our mind and thinking process. We have so many fears. We take a long time to cure the pain, but pain is so natural to be healed. Our body knows it produces the painkillers. We don't need some ibuprofen or diclofenac from outside which can cure the pain in the body. Our body has that capacity to heal itself. So, Buddha given one sutra called Arrow Sutra. Means any arrow when you hit, bow and arrow, archery, that arrow hitting the person, immediately there is pain in the body. Okay? That pain stays for 1 minute, 2 minutes, maximum maybe 5-10 minutes. Any body pain, it won't stay for a long time. Body knows how to heal that somatic body pain. If it is staying a longer time, it is called second arrow hitting. What is the second arrow? The Buddha said, second arrow is a mental arrow, your mind. Why me? Why it happened to me? Maybe God is punishing me. Maybe someone is very jealous. Maybe someone sent an evil, like a witchcraft, a black magic. Someone is harming me. So many things. Our mind immediately goes into thinking process. Why me? Oh, this must be, I'll get a wound, maybe infection, maybe my body will be amputated, this limb will be removed by doctors. Many fears will come. So this is called the second arrow, mind arrow, mental arrow, which worsens the problem. The pain is, instead of getting healed, it stays for a longer time. Most of the pains, it is so easy to heal. Your body can release all the painkillers for you. You can try in meditation. Whenever there is pain, don't avoid pain. Embrace pain. Give all your attention to the pain. Just like your mother and the child. For example, your child is crying and you are the mother or the father. When the child is crying, child is in pain, asking for your attention. When you give your attention, when you go and put your hand on the head of the child stops crying immediately, because there is a comforting, soothing feeling that gets into the child. Same way, when your body is crying with pain, it is asking for your attention. In that moment, give attention like a parent. Parent giving attention to the child, lovingly give attention to the child. Oh, my knee joint, you're crying with pain. I understand. Just give attention to that moment and continue to breathe. Your breathing is something very, very beautiful. A lot of prana is being directed. When you are inhaling and exhaling, you are collecting a lot of prana and vital force, life force, and that becomes pancha maha pranas inside the body, and it is continuously changing into life force energies which are helping your body parts. So in that moment, when you give attention, love to your body, you're giving attention to that pain. Pain is not going to become worsened. In that moment, the pain starts losing its grip and slowly it vanishes, it fades away. We can try that. It's so easy to heal the pain. Many cancer patients, they have this pain. Even painkillers fail to heal the pain. Many doctors, they have to adopt to morphine injections. And it's very addictive, chemically addictive drugs. So instead, this is more simple and easy. If we know that the whole pharmacy is existing inside, we need to get this point straight into us, because this is the truth. Our current medical research says that your body cells can produce all that whatever is required for your body. And even though some body parts are shut down, organs have failed, but still, if we really understand, they can restart. Any failed organs also. Our current medical system says that it's not possible. Some illnesses are impossible to get cured. For whole life, you have to be like this and you have to use the drugs, all that. But we have to think outside this box. This is what spiritual science is telling us about. This is what our yogis and rishis was talking about. There is possibility of healing. There is hope for everyone. Hope should not be taken away from anybody, even cancers to any kind of such terminally ill diseases. Because we go beyond this linear time frame. There's so much access to the consciousness and the energies of the universe. We do not know. People get cured, healed completely. So there's a scientist who has written a book called Miracle Knots. His name is Paul Piercel. He had bone cancer and it's terminally ill. And prognosis is very bad. Almost only 1 year they have given. You will go through all this. You have to go through chemotherapeutic agents, anti-cancer treatments. You will die anyway because this is what our statistics says. So this Paul Piercel thought, anyway, I'm going to die. Why not I die happily? I'll go to Hawaii Islands and I'll chill out. I'll relax only. In the beach in Hawaii Islands, he learned about the Ho'oponopono and meditation. He was every day celebrating, going into the seashore, playing in the seashore and dancing, celebrating, meditating, sunrise, sunset. He's in unison with the alignment with stars and moon. What happened is he healed his cancer. When he gone back to the doctors, they could not find his bone cancer. He healed. He has written his book, autobiography kind of thing, how he healed himself. So it's so true that there are impossible things that happen which becomes possible in spiritual science. This is the experience of thousands around the globe who is coming forward and sharing their stories. If you have read the book, You Can Heal Your Life, Love Yourself and Heal Your Life. How many read this book? Yeah, that's fantastic. She is Louise L. Hay, author of this book, and she started a publishing book company, Hay House Publications, and she healed her uterine cancer of the uterus, almost malignant cancer. And because she learned meditation, in the meditation her body was speaking to her. Her body told that you need to forgive someone. She immediately knew that when she was a child, around 5 years old, even less than that, I think 4 years, she was sexually abused. This young little girl was sexually molested. Her own uncle molested her. So that memory was completely gone into her subconscious, and she never processed that. The pain remained inside her as a secret. It was like a secret for her. She didn't say it to anybody. Later on, this cancer manifested. So she could never forget the uncle, and she could never forgive the uncle. And she was hating all the men also. Hatred towards men. And when she came to know about this from the body dialogue, her body is told, you have to forgive. Forgiveness is the key. She could do that. What happened is a miracle. The old cancer went away. Her uterus responded. And there were such cases of profound healing, and across the globe, In India, so many people, I heard their healing and transformation stories when we can hear the messages from the body and how the body is an energy body, is not just a gross body, unintelligent, defective manufacturing piece. This is prepared by divine intelligence. We call that divine intelligence as God. This is a gift from the God. And our biological gods are our mother and father. Our mother, father gifted this physical body to us. And it is not a defective piece. It is very intelligent. It can respond to our communications. So, we'll go further, and some doubts that were asked during the break time. One of them is, when someone else is sending the healing, but this person is not aligned, not inclined, not ready to receive, and not ready to be healed, what happens in that case? Actually, every healing is self-healing. Unless someone wanted to be healed, no intervention can bring the healing to them. A person who is, on almost deathbed, but the person really has hope and wanted to really continue the life and fulfill a purpose which is going to be helpful for the world. There's a loka kalyanam, means welfare of the world. Then what happens is the tiniest hope will actually attract something which can really rapidly heal that person. A person who wanted to die, for example, even if the person is kept in the best medical hospital in the world and best medical technology and best healer is healing, energies are dumped, 1,000 healers sending the energies to the person will not survive because the person wanted to move away from this body. So, it begins with your own self. As an individual, you are aligned. Your body, mind, heart, soul, and the greater soul is in alignment. We bring lot of well-beingness into us. Our openness and willingness and readiness, it brings everything from the universe, all that resources in order to be healed. So, generally we go through a lot of stress in our life. We're talking about this, about how when you are in the well-being state, your body produces so many chemicals like neuropeptides, melatonin, serotonin. And when someone is in fear, in stress, a lot of fear comes. In stress, there are adrenergic hormones which are adrenaline, noradrenaline. Your adrenal gland releases that, which actually increases the metabolism in the body. It's meant for fight, flee, and fight response. Generally, our survival mechanisms are around this. So, whenever you are facing a threat, some survival threat, as an animal, because partly we are also animals, our response is we fear that situation, the threat. Second, we fight. Oh, I'm confident, I fight. Very aggressively we fight. Or third thing is we run away from this place. Or freeze. It's called freeze rest and become numb. Like you see on a highway, sometimes on Ghat road section, on the road, sometimes when you're going, there are some animals which comes in the night. And the floodlights of the car is flashing on them. They just freeze. They don't move. Sometimes that animals play what is called playing dead. Like as if they are not moving, as if they are dead. They pretend to be dead. It's a freeze response. Some of us, when there is stress, we freeze. We don't know what. suddenly your brain becomes numb. You can't move. Your hands and feet become very cold. It's part of the adrenergic sympathetic nervous system drive. So fear releases these stress hormones called catecholamines, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, high levels of cortisol, which actually decays the body very quickly. Temporarily, in that situation, it is helpful. Those chemicals to run away, it is important. You need your muscles to be very active. Or to avoid being dead in that moment, we sometimes play dead. You don't do anything. You just enter into semi-comatose state. So the threat from outside, a dangerous person may think that already this person died. I will not harm this person and go away. So this is what our survival mechanisms set up inside us. So there's a better ways in dealing with stress. That's what spirituality is about. Spiritual path is dealing the day-to-day stressful events in a different way, very creative way. Not in the normal ways where our body is secreting these catecholamines and stress hormones. So laughter is the best medicine in the world. And one advice everyone tells, even doctors nowadays tell, keep laughing, even though doctor is not laughing. Doctor is always serious. Many doctors, they'll end up in troubles. Many doctors, I heard my colleagues, where they have heart attacks, just 45 years, one doctor died recently with heart attack. Just 45 years, there's a heart attack nowadays. And the many doctors, they need themselves a lot of healing. Self-healing is needed. Even a doctor the medication is not helping them. We know that limitations as a doctor. And there's one scientist, her name is Dr. Candace Pert. She has done such beautiful research about emotions. Emotions which are not understood, not transformed. For example, negative emotions are still residing in the body. They create illnesses in the body. In her research, she has observed that the teardrops that we have, there are tears of joy, there is tears of sadness. When someone is sad, we secrete tears. We have tears coming out through lacrimal glands. And those tear samples she has taken from a group of people. For example, she was showing a video, all the tragedy scenes, war scenes and children being harmed and all that. People cry. We all have heart. We cry. There are some secretions here, lacrimal glands coming, tears. And she collected that sample. She observed that in the lab test. What is the chemical composition of the teardrops? And the same group of people, after 1 hour, she showed all the comedy scenes, Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy, and children laughing, celebrating, and they also laughing and having the teardrops. It has completely different chemical composition. So this test showed that your your molecules of emotions, they can be tested. For example, your laughter, your joy, your positive emotions will create positive chemicals in your body, which are going to reset in you something which was different before. Before there was many stressful hormones released. So when someone is sad, loneliness, people suffer from loneliness. Nowadays, many people are advised to keep a companion, animal companion, a dog or a cat. It's a great healer, it seems, because loneliness really creates such negative emotions in a person. They feel all alone, because human beings, we are wired to be together. We are social beings. Without communication, without this friendship, if we are sitting all alone inside a room for the entire life, or living on our own island, it's not supposed to be that way. Loneliness is also one of the issues. People actually they have cancers, more illnesses. So this is something very beautiful research done by this master, Dr. Candace Pert, Because all the discoveries made by these scientists who are also inclined to spiritual science, spirituality, meditation, spiritual path, it is really, we can take all that findings of the researchers, scientists. It is helpful for us to understand how we can heal ourselves. What, why, how illness is created. Illness is always has a purpose. Without purpose, there is nothing that happens. There is a cause for everything, because we live in a cause and effect world. It's called law of karma. Law of karma is the principle in the universe, which means there is cause, there is effect. Every effect has got a cause. Karya Karana Sambandha, it is called. It is always personal also. Someone has headache, around 100 people has headaches. It's not the same cause. It is different causes, different situations which is creating this headache. Someone who is having a troubled relationship, getting the headache, the cause is different. Someone who is constantly worrying about something, getting a headache is different. So the headache causes could be different. It is always personal. There is always a purpose behind an illness, a disease. There is a way to understand the illness. Doctor can know only a physical part of the illness through diagnosis. They test, auscultate, and they palpate, they take the lab samples, lab tests are done, and x-rays are done, CT scans are done. But it's only like a physical diagnosis. But what is happening energetically, in your consciousness, in your life force, what's happening to you, that can be known by your own self. You are the one who can diagnose what's happening inside your life. So, and illness reflects a state of dis-ease with your life. When someone is not at ease with their own life, not flowing, life is supposed to be a flow, ease and comfort, natural, but it is not like that. It is going to reflect as a disease. And imbalances in giving and receiving love. We say life is nothing but giving love and just receiving love. Be loved. It's one of the fundamental rights of every human being, to love others and to be loved. You deserve to receive love. You also need to have the need to express your love to others. So when it is stopped, when it is there is an imbalance, someone is a giver, because the tendency to become a giver is more for a person and feels undesirable to receive. So, for example, even some compliments are given to you. You don't receive compliment. Oh, I don't deserve this. I have not done this much work. Everyone done this teamwork, and you don't receive the compliments also. Many illnesses will manifest. It's so important to feel deservable, to receive. Universe is ready to give us through people, through directly in meditation and many several ways. But we are not here to receive. We hold ourselves back. We feel undeservable, unworthy to receive. We are pre-programmed that you only must give. Don't ask, don't receive. But it's not true. It's cyclical. You also need to receive. You need to also first give and receive. Both are important. Then there is a flow. One lady who had a stroke, she was bedridden. And she could not walk, paralyzed. And she felt so happy because all relatives visited her. Entire life she was taking care of everyone. All people, serving. She only knows about serving. But anybody cooked for her food. Anybody appreciated her. She never received appreciations. And she could never feel the joy of life because no time for her. For the first time, she thought this illness, I will keep it, I will be like this. But she's a meditator, she learned meditation and she came to know that she can still receive. She is stopping herself to receive love. Many people are ready to love, only thing is I will only give love. But life is in two ways, it's cyclical. Both are important. So, illness also is reflecting about how you have lived your life. Your biology becomes your biography becomes your biology. How you have lived your life. Many people who are stressed in their life because they do not know the different way of living. Non-stressful life, relaxing life, they do not know. They think that we are machines. People always work and work and work and work. They don't know how to relax also. They can't sit quietly at one place. And meditation is impossible. Even though they close their eyes, their mind is racing, mind is going everywhere. Because we are so habituated to only work. We are human beings, right? But many of us, we think we are human thinkings, human feelings, human doings. Most of us, we think we are human doings. We have become like a human machines, mechanical in life, all the time, morning to evening, night, always working and working, never having time to slow down and be with our own breath, be with ourselves and just have fun with the family, and some fun side of our life is missing. How you are living your life, it reflects in your health status. And biography becomes your biology. Chronic stress people, type 1 personalities they're called as. They create a lot of chemicals which are stress hormones in the body. And they have low immune system and low resistance power. They get many illnesses. And illness also is telling us about lack of alignment to our purpose or derailing from our life purpose. We are all born to fulfill a purpose. Every human being, without exception. We are not just biological random accidents. We are not just thrown from somewhere into one day, we are born here. We have come into this physical plane, into that particular family. We are born with a purpose, every one of us. And even though we do not know the purpose, we need to have this question. We have to ask ourselves, what is my purpose of life? Why am I born? Why am I here? One day we'll find the answer. Before that, we need to, from our heart, whatever makes us joyful, we need to do that. Some, they go into seva path, like a service path. They serve in whatever way. But as you do that, as you keep meditating, you find one day, discover the purpose. Many of us, we are fulfilling the purpose which is not ours. There's something called swadharma. But we are doing more paradharma. Lord Sri Krishna told, Swadharme nidhanam shreya, paradharmo bhayavaha. Paradharma need to be released, removed. You need to follow your own swadharma. Dharma means purpose. What you need to do in this world. Swadharma. You are born for a purpose. When we are not doing that, we feel so unhappy. For example, someone want to become an actor, but parents, they told, I could not become a doctor. Father said, I could not become a doctor. You must become a doctor. So the actor in him, his soul decided to be an actor. He became now a doctor. He got a lot of money, lot of name, fame, recognition. He traveled around the globe, but he is feeling so unhappy, sad inside, because he is not fulfilling his own life purpose. So it also creates illnesses. Illness sometimes for many people it's called wake-up call. It's telling us, wake up now. You have wasted enough of your time in your life. You need to reorient, rearrange yourself, reorganize. do what you need to do now. You can't waste your time, waste your life. So this is what our illness is saying. For example, a child who is born handicapped, I tell this case study. I will share about this. A couple who is fighting with each other, even smallest arguments will make them to the wife to leave the home and she goes to the in-laws place. The husband thought, my wife is always leaving me. For 3 months she will not come back. He feels so lonely. And small things they argue. Even for breakfast, if the salt is more, the husband gives the feedback, there's more salt in it. It's an argument again, they fight. And the wife leaves for 3 months. It was happening like that. He thought, if we have a child, the child will save our marriage. He thought about it. And then after persuading the wife, brought the wife, and they had a child born. A boy is born. But the boy is born as handicapped. Because this boy took the project of the father. The project means the purpose of the father. My marriage, our marriage of a mother-father couple must be saved by this boy, this child. So the children, they do sometimes, they don't follow their own purpose, but they follow the purpose of the father. Sometimes they sacrifice their life also. We have seen enough of these cases where the children who are born with so many limitations is actually in the womb. The child is listening to parents. The child is completely programming themselves. They're born with some kind of challenges and difficulties. So, illness also is telling us about chronic patterns of thinking and speaking. Your words, your thoughts, your emotions, it reflects in the state of disease, in state of health. Word creates world. Your world is created by your word. Very powerful. Vakshetra, your vak, is so powerful. Every word that you speak, it matters. Recently, I heard from a person that he used to speak all the time as a joke to everyone that I will jump from the 4th floor, and everyone feels, oh, don't do that. And it's fun for him. But after when the child is born, the child is 1.5 years old, one child jumped from the 4th floor. Never the child was told about this, but the child just jumped from 4th floor, died. And see the word, which goes everywhere like viral, and it affects. And also not only affecting our surroundings and people and relationships, it also affects you and your thoughts. So beautiful research, you may refer to this. Dr. Masaru Emoto, he's an engineer. Beautiful research done by him on water particles. He got this intuition that no two water particles are the same. Every water particle is different. And they are influenced by thoughts, words, and actions, behaviors of us. So immediately plunged into action, an experiment. He collected water from Fujiwara Dam in Japan, and he observed under electron microscope, and the water particles were like this, gray and yellow and dirty and scattered and not looking good. This is before offering a prayer. Prayer means gratitude, thank you. But after 1 hour, the same bowl of water from Fujiwara Dam, after offering prayer, it changed under electron microscope. They photographed these molecules of water. It showed hexagonal crystals. Is it not really great? It's really wonderful. Round of applause to this Masaru Emoto, the scientist. Such amazing research. Your body contains 80% water. What you think, what you feel, what you speak, it influences your own body cells. And also the environment around us is influenced by this. our word, our thought, and our emotions. And the first premises for the healing is my mind and body are two aspects of a single system, my organism. Our mind and body are not different. They are one and the same. What's happening in the mind is constantly affecting the body because the body is not different. Your Annamaya Kosha, your Sthula Sharira and your Sukshma Sharira, Manomaya Kosha, are not different. They are one and the same. Your consciousness has many levels of expression. This Sthula is also an expression of your soul. The soul is expressed itself in the as dense body, but as it goes into the subtle aspects, it's called Sukshma Sharira. Your mind, Manomaya Kosha, your mind. Whatever is happening in the mind, it affects the body. That's the important key principle. So if you change your mind, your thoughts in your mind, your beliefs that you have about yourself and about your reality, it changes your state of health. And second, there is an ongoing conversation between my mind and my body. My body constantly responds to my thoughts while my mind continually listens to feedback sensations from my body. There's constant communication between our subconscious mind and our body. It continually happens. As we learn to listen to the body more and more well-beingness you're going to get in the body also, physical body. Most of things are programmed in us. For example, it's time for lunch. You're not hungry, but it's 12:30 or 1 p.m. It means go for lunch. You're not hungry, but still we eat. It's like overriding your impulses or your urges, but you're overriding all of them. You don't feel like eating. It's a time for sleep. You're not feeling like sleeping. You want to meditate, but you have to go to sleep because the time. Everything is like a clock machine. So when you listen to the body, your body tells you that day that don't eat an extra food. Only eat little bit. But you see jalebi and you're tempted and you eat more jalebi. Because your body is telling, but we are not listening to this body. It's so important. The third important principle, an organism is living production scripted in the language of sensation. Sensation that you feel in the body is a language. The many sensations that you have, it's a very beautiful divine instrument. All the time is talking to you. When someone is feeling joy, first that is felt by the body, even before your mind perceives the joy, the atmosphere around, but your body is already feeling that. You feel lighted up. You feel very light. Many things, your body constantly speaking through the language of sensation. It's scripted. And we need to learn this language called how to decode the sensations in the body. If we are in alignment with our body, we constantly understand the language of the body. Third, my brain is the transmitter and receiver of this sensation. Your neurology, your brain, and functioning part of the brain is called mind. The software that's loaded in the hardware is called the mind. The brain and the mind. This is the distinction between these two words. What is brain? The hardware. What is the mind? The software. So both are important for the functioning. So the sensations in the body is wired up to the brain, the nervous system, and constantly your mind knows exactly, interprets everything, what's happening in your body. Language of sensation speaks of mobility, agility, strength, stability, balance, ease, and flexibility. There are some illnesses related to what is called mobility. You can move in your life. And there are some muscular problems, skeletal-muscular problems that we get. There's a condition called multiple sclerosis, which also affects muscles, a group of muscles. Or sometimes it affects the eyes, vision. And also, some get Parkinson's. Medically, it says you can cure this. It's impossible. So Parkinson's and some neuromuscular, because some part of neurology, they say this brain neural center not producing enough of these hormones, these secretions are not there, dopamine, so we have to put a substitute. You have to take this particular pills as a supplement of that particular secretion. So, but what is happening behind that is you don't want to move because it's dangerous. If I move, I will be harmed. It's unsafe for me. Because this is a sensation that you're frozen, your body is not moving. If you ask the question, what happened in my life where my movement in life is stopped? What's happening around me? What happens if I move? So you will get many answers from you. You will know exactly why the movement is stopped in you. What is the mobility for you, important for you? What is the function of this mobility? Mobility can make us move in life, but movement also is, some people, they interpret as dangerous. Because I move out of the home, I may be harmed because there's danger outside. If I don't move, it's better, I'll be much safer. So we have to see the logic behind all the illness, learn what is this language of sensation. I am not my organism, I am the spirit, creative potential, the Atman, the ultimate reality, the subjective self. Consciousness, the formless and timeless observer of quantum reality. This is the truth. When we are aligned to this ultimate truth that we are the creative spirit, the one who has created everything is residing in us as this Atman. This Atman and that Paramatman are not different. That Purnatma is not different. It's one and the same. Same Atman is residing in me. It is my potential. It is the whole resource and source. It's the source. And it is the ultimate expression of well-beingness. Well-beingness is restored immediately. If we know that, if we have an experience of that, many in deep meditation states, they experience this. Deep connection with the source. Being held by the source. All in all that is holding you like a small baby, and that pure love is being experienced by someone, a direct experience. It completely changes them. From the formless and timeless quantum potential, I originate my organism in the image and likeness of my divine nature. From that potential source, where this potential source got three attributes: omnipotent, it has all the power, it is omniscient, it's everywhere, omnipresent, it's everywhere, omniscient, it can be felt in you and everywhere. And it knows everything. It has all the wisdom, omnicognizant. It knows everything. These attributes are part of you. You are in the same likeness you are born. Your Jivatma and the Paramatma are not different. The Paramatma, when it is dipped inside this body, it is called Jivatma. But in meditation, when you going beyond your Vishuddha Chakra and reaching to the third eye and Sahasrara, you realize that you are not Jivatma anymore. You are part of that, all pervading, all that omniscient. That same consciousness Paramatma consciousness. Because formless and timeless quantum potential is the source of all physical reality. We are all one. Every person I meet is an aspect of myself. Actually, you are meeting your own self. There's no other you. There's no... You and me are experienced as a playground. In the playground, it's a play here. But it's the same one consciousness which is lived in this playground called Leela. This is a big Leela, actually. Whenever we are hurting someone with words or behaviors, we are hurting our own self. When we come to know this truth, how can we not forgive others? How can we not love others? Even we can love our neighbors, love our enemies also. When we come to know that there is only one single reality, Paramatma, which is living as many diverse forms, is only one single Paramatma. And the law of conservation of energy requires every physical organism to adhere to its script at all times. So we all born as Jivatmas to fulfill a certain purpose. We have to follow our own script. Just like every group of cells in our body has their own script, right? Your heart cells will not interfere with the renal cells, your kidney cells. They fulfill their own role. Like that, everyone is born to fulfill our own divine purpose. Our own script is there. We all know it. Deep within us, our script we know. Only thing is we need to connect deep within us. I experience my organism's adherence to its script as desire. So whenever this desire emerges in us, it's an impulse within us, which propels us into action. That's our script. Our soul script. Our plan, soul plan. Desire to learn from a Himalayan master, for example, that's part of your soul script. You notice that a desire, an impulse coming from within you. I alone know and meet the desires of my organism, for I have created it, continue to create it. We all know that. We continue to even update our scripts also. We have our soul agenda, soul plan. We continue to upgrade it, update it. The essence of spiritual healing is to choose joy for my organism and for all life everywhere, to heal by feeling good. Is the ultimate key. What are the indicators that you have healed yourself? You have the well-beingness at all levels of your consciousness. Joy is the indicator. It's a litmus test. Richard Bach says in one of his books called Illusions, the mark of your ignorance is the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy. More is the ignorance, more is the tragedy and suffering we experience in our life. Less is the ignorance, less is the tragedy and suffering. More is the enlightenment, more is the joy that we experience in our life. So more we come to update ourselves with the knowledge, the wisdom about our own soul, our consciousness, more is the joy and more well-beingness that we create in our lives. So dear friends, dance and stretch your body is so useful, so important. People think that a spiritual path is just stillness and silence. We forget that spiritual path is also movement and dance. It's yin-yang. It's a stillness meditation. At the same time, very actively dynamic. We also move. Our body wants to express and dance, celebrate. And laughing is part of it. And singing is part of it. Joy, music, everything is part of the healing process. So, think of illness as a messenger. Some pointers, and then we'll do a process now. Think of illness as a messenger, is carrying a message for you. Illness is not an enemy. Illness is a messenger. Illness is not telling that you have done some negative bad karma. Illness is not to be ashamed of. It's a teacher. It's a messenger. We need to thank the illness. Then we will be a good student. We'll be learning from that illness. Many illnesses, just because we are ignoring these lessons, messages, even though we go to a doctor will temporarily make you get relieved from it, but if you don't learn the lesson, the illness is, for our entire life, we go through cyclical patterns of this illness, it repeats. And if we simply get rid of it, we do not get the message it is bringing for us. Nowadays, for example, we go to a doctor, my uterus giving problem, we take out uterus, remove the uterus. Many women, their uterus is removed. And many body organs, we are getting them removed. By removing them, we are missing the whole lesson that is presented. Because we do not know the way in which we can heal ourselves. And first step is to see and say yes to what is. Even say yes to the illness. We consider that we want to throw the illness and fight with the illness and throw it out of the door and window. Can you throw the darkness from the room through the window and door? You can. Try it. You can throw the darkness. Allow the light to come inside. Same way, this illness is there and you say yes to it. Yes, you are there. I see you. I acknowledge you. You are present. Maybe you're here for making me realize certain things. I treat you as my companion now. And okay, I accept you. Tell me, what is the message for me? What is the lesson that you're providing to me? And after you learn the lesson, the illness goes away naturally on its own. You can say goodbye. After you learn the lesson, what's the point? You can say, yes, my teacher, my illness, I have learned my lesson, now you can go. I say goodbye to you. We don't need it anymore. So, there are some conflicts within us which are like recreating these illnesses and diseases, which are telling us that this is the lesson that we need to learn, this is the insight that we need to gain, and that's how we reverse the whole illness. Illness is going to be transformed as health. So, number one is childhood. The source of these conflicts, psychological conflicts, becomes part of your biology, which is creating some biological problems. The first source is childhood. Most of us, we are programmed in the childhood. A disease is called as a program. Spiritual science, medical science research is telling that when we were children, we are programmed fully. Subconscious mind is full of programs. But they're all not active programs. Just like in a computer, everything is installed, but it not become active. But if any trigger is there, it becomes like a active conflict. There are many triggers in our life. At that point of time, this becomes very active. I tell you a case study of breast cancer of a woman. She developed a breast tumor and doctors diagnosed it as not just benign tumor. Benign tumor means it goes away. Simple even removal, also no danger at all. But malignant means it's the carcinoma kind of stuff. It can metastasis, it can go to different organs. It is dangerous, life-threatening. So this woman was really scared. We were visiting in Spain. We conducted this workshop in Spain, in Barcelona. She attended that workshop. We did this process. Consciousness Heals, where she was speaking to her body. And she has two issues in her life. One is this breast cancer. Second is she could not conceive a child. Got married for 7 years, but no child. They really want to conceive a child. But with no attempts, many doctors they visited, there's no child. So these two issues. So what she saw when she was communicating with her body cells shown one vision, a vision of her in a past life. She was in a Spanish country in the ancient times, around 16th century. There were invaders into a village, like enemies from another country invaded that land, and they're all killing everybody in the village. She was in her hut. Someone came and pierced a spear. She was at that time feeding her baby on her left breast. She is feeding the baby, and she fallen to the front in that moment, and baby died out of suffocation. She could not breathe. And last moments were terrible. After she left the body, she felt, I could not protect my child. She carried guilt. I could not protect my child because she was nursing, breastfeeding the child in that moment. And with the guilt which is unresolved, unfinished in that moment, in that lifetime, after that, in this incarnation, she is born now exactly the same age. That happened when she was 25 years in that past life. When she reached 25 years, now she had this breast lump, diagnosed with cancer. It's the left breast. And second is, she understood that if I have a child, means I lose the child. She has formed a belief that it's painful to lose a child. It's better not to have. She realized the fear of losing a child, which is stemming from that past life. So after these sessions, when we came back to India after a month, she has written to us. She went back to the doctor for further, investigations. And after 1 month, when she visited doctors found on her scans everything is normal. No breast lump disappeared completely. She was cured. Round of applause to her. And second thing is, after a few months later, she sent an email, I conceived a child. And now almost like more than 10 years, she has a child, the reincarnation of the same child again. She got back, and because the fear that was installed in her psyche, I could not protect my child. That's why breast is called nest conflict, nest worry conflict. She had nest worry conflict, means a mother worries about the child. And its nest means it's like a home. For the child, is breastfeeding is sharing of the love to the child by the mother. Nest worry conflict, she could completely overcome those challenges. So this is how conflicts they work. For example, most of the conflicts stemming from the childhood. The programming happened in the childhood, even in utero, in the fetus, in the womb. Almost last 25 years, we have done so much of research about illnesses and the origins, the causes, root causes. So we categorize them in 4 categories. Childhood. Not everyone straight away coming from the past lives. Some of them from the childhood. Some from the in utero, womb memories. For example, one woman, she has a problem with her ovaries. And her problem with the menstrual cycles. Always menorrhagia means excessive bleeding and so much pain she gets, and also polycystic ovarian disorder. She has to be put on hormones by doctors. So she was going through hell in her life. What she recognized is when she was inside the womb, her mother was expecting a boy child. Because already there were 2 girl children born. She's the 3rd child, and mother was praying to God, "Oh God, send me boy child, boy, like a mantra, Already the girl is coming. So what she has to do, the girl is born with such heaviness, heavy heart. Oh, my mother, father going to be displeased, my whole family, my grandfather, grandmother. And she want to be like a boy from the childhood. She used to wear all the boys' dresses. She used to play cricket in the game, in the playgrounds. She will started behaving like a boy because she wanted to please the mother, please the father, and she has to almost like cut off her biological hormones, all the female hormones. So she has to mess up everything inside. It's all subconscious. It's programmed in her in utero stage. This is how it happens. After that realization, she could completely restore her normalcy. She could accept herself as a woman, as a girl child. In India, there is a big problem. There was always gender expectation. Gender rejection is there. And generational trauma means many family tree memories also they repeat in the younger generations, future generations, the problems they repeat. Medical science recognizes as, some genetic diseases. For example, diabetes. You have diabetes, doctor will ask, your mother has diabetes, father has diabetes, grandparents, anybody has diabetes in the family tree. Why they ask that question? Because it's like passed on. Not only diseases, psychological patterns, some patterns, for example, suicide pattern, it runs in the family tree. Even behavioral patterns, it runs in the family tree. We generally called it as Pitru dosha. Pitru dosha means repeats in the family tree. There's something like happened long back. From there, it started happening. The same problem and issue is repeating. So, some of the illnesses are genetically programmed. Our DNA, our cells, they carry that imprints. Even before you are born, your body is containing all that blueprint of your family tree. Your constitutional is called structural conflict. You carry it. When your soul is entering into the body, already it is there. So, we found that many people, this phenomena is called epigenetics. The latest research is called epigenetics. When you change your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, your energies, you affect your own genes. Even genes respond. They transform. This is what the current research is called epigenetics. A lot of research was last 2 decades. Fantastic research was done. You may refer to Dr. Bruce Lipton research, Biology of Belief, that he has written. He documented a lot of cases also about how our epigenetic phenomena, when you change your thoughts, your consciousness is going to heal the body. And as I talked one case study about the past lives, majorly past lives, many unresolved, unfinished stories of the past lives, they repeat again. There's a karma, law of karma also operates. Whatever that we have given out, our soul repays it. It has to go through those experiences now. So this is also a major chunk, major portion of removing that conflict or the trauma that occurred in the past lives. So there are 4 sources that we need to initially diagnose. In meditation itself, one can actually understand through simple process. So right now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What symptoms do you have in your body? Just any symptom that you have, and ask second question, when did you first notice these symptoms? It could be pain, itching, or it could be dry sensation that you get, or specific location of the body, you feel fatigued, exhausted, or cold spots, hot spots in the body. Could be any symptom in the body. When did they notice these symptoms? Just before the appearance of the symptoms, what happened in your life? Before the symptom appeared in the body, that sensation, what happened in your life? What was the memory? Just think about this. Anybody wanted to share about one symptom that you have in your body? Right, sir. Yeah. Can you?
I would like to share my childhood experience.
Yes, sir.
When I was 10 years old in 1963, I started feeling pain in my heel, right heel. In 1965, I was totally on the bed. A lot of pain was in the leg, and I was plastered because at that time rheumatology concept was not there in the medical science. And that was a Indo-Pakistan war also. In 1969, I was given penicillin and I was healed for the time being. In 1969, I again had an attack, but that was not that severe. So in 1971, when I was doing engineering from BITS Pilani, I had a very, very extensive, intensive attack. All my joints were swollen. My legs became parabolic. I was not able to walk or lie down. I was in pain, deep pain. So at that time, probably something happened emotionally, and I determined that I will defeat this disease, whatever may happen. I was not able to walk for 100 meters. I was walking for 1 hour. It took 1 hour. If somebody came to my room, I was thinking how I will open the bolt. So that was the state. Because why I want to share it, I was not knowing any meditation at that time, no affirmations. But my thought process, my willpower, my determination inside, that could rest. Although I was admitted in PGI Chandigarh for 2.5 months and in BITS Pilani's hospital, Billa's hospital for 2 months, I was given 4 years, I was given aspirin at that time, and they diagnosed rheumatoid arthritis. Later on, my daughter also is having the same problem. So the concept of rheumatology developed, and she was tested for HLA-B27 gene. It became positive. It came out to be positive. So that was maybe probable cause. So my curiosity said, okay, let me myself get tested.
Yes.
So my HLA-B27 also came out to be positive. Now at this stage, my one knee is replaced. I can still run. At the age of 10, at the age of 15 or 17, I could not even walk. But at the age of 71, I can run. So that thought process has definitely worked. And as the science of epigenetics says, that I am able to mute my expression of this gene of HLA-B27. So this I wanted to share.
Excellent.
This is my experience, sir. Second thing, I have a small question. If I am given. Sir, I have read somewhere that Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he vacated his body because of cancer, throat cancer. And he was a person, he is one of the very, very few spiritual masters who come to the trance state in a flash of a second. So how come that meditation could not cure his cancer? That is one question. And I have also heard, now we are celebrating Youth Day on the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. And I have also read that he was suffering from many illnesses, many illnesses. And he was also a good meditator. why it could not work.
Yeah.
So these are the two small questions, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. So it's a very good example that you inspired all of us by sharing your story, and particularly healing and transformation story of yours. And you said in 63, first you had that problem with the left knee or right knee joint. It healed now. Heal, okay. Yeah. So you also mentioned something at that time about something which is related to Pakistan because your grandparents. That time there was a war. Oh, okay. Yeah. There was
Do come.
Okay.
So I was watching desperately the bombardment.
Wow.
Because I was not having any option. I was plastered up to this, sir.
Oh,
That is what I wanted to say.
So actually, see, before any appearance of the symptom, there is stressful event that happens in our life. As a child, he was watching that, whatever that threat that was on India, and they were living close the borders, and he was observing that. It was very, very stressful. So nothing appears just like that. One day our organs and our body is limited. There's something before that, few days, few weeks before, that always has something that was going on in our life.
It is not a joke. I would like to share. When I got admission in 1970 in BITS Pilani, I was hardly 4 feet 10 inches. And my determination also probably generated the growth hormones. And when I left Pilani, I became 5 feet 6 inches.
Wow, this is amazing. That's so amazing. And just changing the thought process, it changes our physics and chemistry in the body. See, he could make himself grow tall by producing growth hormones, and it all happens because the willpower, thought power, determination. And also you said something that your daughter is going through this, and I know as your child, your daughter will be able to change this thought process, because she receives your inspiration, your blessings, your love, and definitely she'll be able to do that. And also your question regarding why Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, even though he's such a spiritual master, and Swami Vivekananda, such a great master, but why this illness stays in them? Is for them, it's a child's play. They can just make these illnesses vanish. Why they didn't do that? Actually, most of these enlightened beings, when their purpose is over, when the purpose is fulfilled, they need to find a reason to vacate the body. And for them, investing this conscious energy and healing the body is no point. Gautama Buddha, Lord Buddha, vacated the body, just diarrhea. Diarrhea is the cause of the death. And he could have healed. He could have lived for 1,000 years, but his purpose is complete and the soul decided to leave the body. And in the story that I heard about Paramahamsa Ramakrishna ji, many disciples asked, "You are such a master, Kali Mata appears to you, why not you ask Kali Mata?" Because they saw him not able to drink water, not even small sip of water is going inside his throat. So he said, "Okay, today I will speak to Kali Mata." He didn't do that. Second day, disciples again pushed him. He didn't do. Third day, when they pestered him, persuaded him, he finally spoken to Kali Mata. Kali Mata said, "Okay, your throat is constricted, it could not go, nothing can go. Why not? All these other throats are there, right?" She said that. He got the message. It's more collective. He is not any more individual being, not just Jivatma. He is such a Paramatma. He is everywhere. So that is the stage or evolutionary state of those masters. Even Swami Vivekananda, even though it is short span of life, but still every nook and corners of the India and across the globe, he has shaken up. Just having a darshan of Swami Vivekananda, people used to be so charged. His energy, when you speak the name itself, is the vibrations, ripples, it goes through our body. Because such is the master. And there is a reason why, because the purpose is fulfilled. So, these questions can be asked by you, and now you can give your attention to illness. Place attention to your breath and the illness. We'll do a short process. In this process, we are going to connect to our body, and particularly the illness or place where there is a dysfunctional energy is not flowing. Also, you have some symptom in that place of the body. You're directly going to give attention to it. Because sometimes we avoid anything negative is there, we try to avoid it. But here, we pay attention to it. Because we want to understand, listen to the message. And we're going to use our breath, use the breath energy. Because more focus we give to it, even breath energy will help us to understand the lesson from that illness and sickness. We also look at what happened just before the appearance of the symptoms. Just like our dear master and friend shared, Ashokji shared his story, and just before the symptom appeared, there was something going on in life. Just we look at that. What was happening in our life at that point of time? Even before the accident, yes. Even accident, sometimes there is a shock the body goes through. A lot of shock. Even when we process that shock wave, that frozen energies will be released. Again, you can restore the energy flow in the body. So that's why we should never avoid anything that's happening in our life. Face it. Just allow that to, your consciousness knows how to deal with this, even it's painful. So let's close our eyes, dear friends. Yeah. Right. That's what we are going to do now. We are here to do that, and we will do that, ma'am. So, how to change our mind? That's a good question. That's what we are learning all this now. So, gaining awareness about what's going on inside our head. For example, our mind is fixated with some negative thoughts, negative beliefs, and all that. We change the direction of this thought. That's how changing for example, our sir Ashokji, he changed the direction of his mind. His body is telling that you are limited, diagnosis by the doctor, but he didn't believe that. He changed the direction of the mind completely, altogether. Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, some of the triggers, for example, when we were short, and many people, they criticize and they tease, they shame us, and many things we go through in our life. But if we yield to it, if we get stuck there, there's no possibility. But we need to be courageous enough to go beyond that. And let's do now. After that, we'll take some questions. And so let's close our eyes, friends. And just be easy and settle down in a comfortable place. Take support of your back by the chair and lean back, take support of the back, and the feet completely relaxed and on the ground, either together or apart, doesn't matter. Whatever posture that you take, which is comfortable, is what is most important right now. At this moment, just feel the surroundings of this room, this place. Just have this idea, awareness that you're seated in a group of all the spiritually inclined beings who are seekers of truth, who are in this path of spirituality in some path or other, and nice cozy atmosphere. There's music that's coming here, some sounds, the birds, and some musical string music. Appreciate all that. At this moment, bring your awareness to your body, your breathing, watching your breath, appreciating every breath, inhalation and exhalation. The breath which is entering into your nostrils, the breath which is going out of your nostrils. There's no hurry, no worry, just easy breathing, normal breathing, very relaxedly, being seated comfortably in this chair. At this moment, pay attention to your body parts. Let your awareness scan your body as you continue to notice your breath. At the same time, then keep scanning your body parts. Head down to your feet. Your body, where any problem, any symptom that's located, allow your attention to go to that part of the body. It could be any body part, any organ. It could be any sensation, could be a sensation, or could be even organ which is not fully functioning. Just allow your awareness to reach to that part of the body. Continue to breathe. Continue to hold your attention there exactly where you have the sensation or some limitation in your body. And just like a parent giving attention to a child who is having some kind of difficulty, challenge, or I'd like you to give the complete attention to that part of the body and notice that sensation. Notice the limitation. Give all your undivided attention, complete attention, and let your mind understand about this particular symptom which showed up on a particular specific date, which was diagnosed as a particular disease. Just before that, what was happening in your life? What was going on in your life? Just before the onset of this particular symptom in the body, what was happening in your life? Is there something stressful happened? You can be a spectator, can be a detached observer of that memory. Even though it is intense memory, not to avoid it, you know that this is a memory coming from the past. It's already over. You are only just a watcher. You are only witnessing that. Just give attention to it. In that particular moment, a memory where some stress was happening, just go deep inside that moment. The moment where you experienced something emotionally. When a trauma occurs, it always is so unexpected. You're not expecting it, it happened. It's sudden. And it's a specific moment, specific location. Where were you at that moment? Are you outside the home or inside the home? Specific time. Which day, is it daytime or evening time? What is that feeling, emotion that you had in that moment? Go through the deep feeling, even though it is numbness, which took over later on. It's only a defense mechanism. But beyond the defense mechanism, there is a primary feeling. There is deep down, there is a bio feeling. Give all your attention to that. Whether it is fear, sadness, rage, anger, terrified, lost. Whatever it is, just give all your attention to that feeling. At this moment, any intensity of that in your body is increasing. Notice it, the sensation in the body. Use your breathing. Keep breathing into that body part, body organ, even though the sensation is intensified or amplified. Trust that your body knows how to repair itself, how to heal itself. At this moment, in this particular memory, can detach, go back and back and back in time. The first time you had the same feeling, the feeling that you had felt in this stressful memory of stressful situation as an adult. That same feeling which you had when you were very, very young, maybe pre-verbal, when you were not even speaking, when you are in your childhood, earlier childhood. When you're living in your childhood home with a mother, father, siblings, uncles, aunts, in that childhood home, allow yourself to go back in time. When you had the same kind of distressing feeling, when you are very, very, very young. At this point of time, allow your consciousness even go beyond that, even much before, even when you are inside the womb or in a past life, doesn't matter. Whatever the source, whatever the cause, wherever first time you have experienced this particular distressing feeling and emotion, allow yourself to go back. Trust the process. And let these images, pictures, impressions, let your intuition, your inner knowingness guide you into the very source, the causes of whatever that symptom that you have in the body. Without editing, analyzing, judging, just let your subconscious bring out all that information that's needed for you. Once you have that information in the form of image, picture, or impression, or feeling, or the memory is very clear, allow yourself, your consciousness, to bring all that resources that are needed to transform this, to heal this. Be wisdom. At this point of time, you may bring this resource in the form of a divine light. The light which contains all the resources, energy, love, understanding, wisdom, safety, power, whatever it is. This moment you can say to the past version of you, the younger version of you, the child version or the past life version of you, that I see you, I recognize you. You are my past version. I'm glad that I could find you. I'm glad that I could meet you today. And allow this image, picture, impression to be transformed as this light, divine light surrounds it. This is the moment now to slowly and slowly you can return back with the resource, with the light inside you which is awakened. The resources which you could recognize within you. With those resources, light contains all power, love, safety, understanding, wisdom. You can see that you're growing up from that younger version all the way to now and to the future. The future, few weeks from now, where you are free from this limitation. Your body is completely free from that limitation. Your body's expressing the creativity, the joy, the life, exuberance of life, life force. See yourself in that near future, in the most healthy, vital, strong, powerful body with well-beingness. Notice the new sensations in your body and tell yourself, I deserve, I'm worthy to have all the well-beingness and health. Bring this certain alignment in you, recognizing that your body, mind, heart and soul and the greater soul completely aligned. At this moment, then breathe, then come back to your body in this moment and breathe into that part of the body and to that symptom, into the illness, and say thank you, thank you, thank you to their illness. So you say to that messenger that you reminded me of my unlimited potential. Open the doors of wisdom and insight. And I thank you. I'm going to integrate these insights and lessons now. And after that, you may leave because you served your purpose. And with that, you take a nice deep breath and appreciating the body. And whenever you feel you are ready, you may slowly place your hands on your eyes and open your eyes. Take your time. Wonderful. Round of applause to all of us. And that's wonderful, dear friends. Yeah, I think video is available, and Buddha Sivo definitely will provide all that. Yeah, when this meditation, everything is recorded, it will be available. Thank you. And so, friends, this process, what we have done just before the onset of an illness, anything showing up in the body, there is a reason. Just before that, there is a triggering conflict. There is a triggering memory. But not only triggering memory, we need to look at, there is a programming memory. Earlier childhood, everything is programmed. We need to go. It could be childhood, it could be mother's womb, it could be generational, transgenerational, it could be past lives. We need to look at the 4 areas. Our consciousness directs there to us. And we know how to unentangle, de-entangle ourselves from that, because past is over. Generally, we cling to the past something because it is incomplete. The experience is not complete yet, because we have not yet integrated the lessons of it. Anybody had deep insights about something showed up, something that you felt during this session, meditation? Okay, right? You want to share? Better you can come here so that everyone can see you.
The symptom that I was guided to observe was The symptom I was guided to observe was itching. I'm having some autoimmune reactions in the body, particularly vulval itching. The first time that I experienced it was about 10, 11 years ago. I had a pregnancy. It was an IVF conception. I was given some vaginal tablets, hormones, which were to be inserted, and they were very irritating for the skin, and they caused ulcers in that area, and I did not connect with the doctor expressing my discomfort. I was extremely ashamed of it. By my professional training, I'm a gynecologist myself. And I had had a pregnancy before that, but at that time I was into my hyperachieving mode and I wasn't ready for the pregnancy. So I'd had a termination before. And even while terminating that healthy pregnancy, I had a feeling that what if I don't conceive? And because I knew my periods were irregular. And the answer was, fine, I'll undergo an IVF. And it almost, by the clock, manifested in my life. I continued to get one degree after another. And I did need an IVF for the conception. It was successful in the first attempt. Again, like I was very confident of it, it was successful. And when I started having these, there was a lot of shame. First, for the inability to conceive. I felt I'm a gynecologist. I deliver babies day and night. I was working in a government hospital at that time, and I would see women conceive easily, deliver easily, and I was acing exams one after another, very difficult ones, and everybody would look at me and wonder, how can she so easily and so effortlessly ace exams or operate so well or be such a good surgeon? And every time I would get a compliment on my academic or professional success, I would feel that the way God will get back at me is by not allowing me to have my own child. I felt a very great degree of shame. I felt a very great degree of failure within. But this was the triggering memory. So when I started having these ulcers, I never connected with them. Nobody knew. But the whole area got ulcerated, and I finally applied steroid creams on my own. It suppressed, but it would keep coming back. Yeah. I currently am, for about 7-8 years, I used to be woken up from sleep suddenly at 1 a.m. in the night with intense itching. I would sleep with my husband and my daughter. Nobody knew. The fear and the shame continued to intensify till finally manifested in blood cancer. The blood cancer I was very happy with because happy with in the sense that the first thing that I felt was this has come to heal everything. Right. It's come to heal the deepest, darkest secrets that I have within me, because now I will no longer be able to keep them a secret. The triggering memory was from the pregnancy, but the programming memory was, it was from my childhood. My parents were quite, they had illnesses, and my mother had brain tumor, my father was posted outside. So it was a very difficult childhood time. I now understand that their relationship was also quite a codependent one. I have a younger sister and a younger brother, and when I started developing pubertal symptoms, so a lot of focus was on me. I was told from the beginning that when you were 2 years old, you said you're going to become a doctor. So the whole family, there was this like a tapasya that every sacrifice will be made so that she will become a doctor, she will save the family. And of course, there was this perfect tag on me. I had to come first in class. I would study very hard or whatever. I would also need to speak just the right things. The behavior should be 10 on 10. The academics should be 10 on 10. The working in the house, my mother had lost her vision on the right side. So, everything, like in all aspects, there was a lot of focus and attention on me, and physical beatings, verbal abuse, withdrawing love, essentially. My mother would say, I wouldn't talk to you. And that is what would hurt the most. My sister, particularly, the first time that I ever had a tiny little, it was a 5-millimeter lesion, which I now understand as psoriasis then. My sister used to make fun of me. Again, no fault of anybody really. She was suffering through quite a neglect. She had failure to thrive as a little baby. My brother followed soon after, so my sister used to bully me quite a bit in the sense that she would lift my arm, yank up my arm and say, "Dekh iske yahan pe baal aane lage hai." In front of my brother, my younger brother, I was extremely ashamed of the natural pubertal changes, especially the armpit hair, the vulval hair. I was extremely ashamed. I would wish for it to stop, but it wouldn't stop. And again, a very deep, dark, shameful secret within me that finally I remember I had sworn that, okay, I mean, she's 4 years younger to me. 4 years later, when she starts developing these symptoms, then I'm going to get back at her and I'll tell her, and then she will know how it feels.
Right.
If an ad of Whisper was showing on the TV, you know, she would laugh and, "Isse puch, tujhe pata hai?" He should ask my brother, "Tujhe pata hai ye kya hota hai? Isse puch." I find it so ironical I became a gynecologist. I was very ashamed. And 4 years later, when she did start developing those symptoms, and I remember the first, she would stand outside the washroom, wait for me to come out during periods when I would change my pads, and she would be like, "Newspaper leke kyun andar gayi thi? Ye kya hai tere yaar?" I would try. So I would have to hide it to go and throw it in the dustbin. There was an intense degree of shame with the pubertal changes, and when I tried to face the bully and tell her ki now you're developing armpit hair, and she said, "Pagal hai kya? Get lost." She in 2 seconds she shut it down. She shut it down, and I remember feeling, oh wow, I mean, I could never do that.
Correct.
I could never do that. It continued. Again, I'm finding it very ironical that I'm standing here and telling all of you something that
we
I'd
appreciate
hidden
that,
pretty,
and it's so amazing. This is.
But I'm not doing it for any of you. I'm not doing it to give you any inspiration. Please don't come and congratulate. I am purely doing it because I really need to heal. I want to heal. For 8 years, I've been woken up from sleep with itching, and so I really would like to heal. I feel that was the programming memory.
That is the programming memory.
I'm
actually.
not very sure, but right now, I mean, I'm speaking to you, and there's this.
Correct.
So it had started with the vulvarine 8 years back. When I was diagnosed with leukemia is when I stopped working. I stopped being of service to whoever I was of service in my life, and I became a very, very good doctor. I had a very successful practice, but the issue is that you can't get out of it because, Arey, you're so good. You're so good. How can you not be who you are because you're so good at it? I didn't want to do it. I was very tired, but I did not have an out. I'm grateful my body manifested the disease because now I could take a chutti. Now nobody would ask me, "Aaj raat ko delivery nahi hai."
Right,
"Oh, you're sleeping tonight?"
And also, actually, it is sometimes not your project purpose, but it all your entire family did tapasya to make you a doctor.
And the pattern runs in our family. One of my buas was a doctor, and my grandfather was very dependent on her emotionally. And it passed on to my father. And he would tell everyone he met after I cleared the entrance exam. General category, difficult to clear the exam, cleared it in the first attempt with a 90% in class 12, A, B, C, whatever else. He would tell everyone with a lot of pride, my daughter's a doctor. You can't escape that role. But a few years before the cancer manifested, I had this insight where I remember I questioned my parents ki, I was told ki, tum 2 saal ki thi, tab tumne dadaji pareshan the because Bua could not come. I understood the triggering and the programming memory.
Yeah, this is part of, Actually, she's sharing her experience that she went through during meditation. It is part of...
Sorry, I'll cut it short. I don't mean to.
No problem, no problem. Yeah. So thanks for sharing, and particularly about this triggering memory and the programming memory, both.
I'm not sure if they are truly that.
It is actually, it talks a lot. What you shared, it is telling about there's a coherence between what happened in the triggering and also what happened in the earlier childhood. The shame is underneath, underground and subcurrent.
The psoriasis is spread from the vulval area to the armpits after
Yeah.
the chemotherapy for leukemia.
Yeah, yeah. So generally, it's a dermis is attacked, dermis,
Yes.
epidermis both, and definitely it is two things. The epidermis is one layer, upper layer of the skin, which seeks connection, contact.
Okay.
Actually, the itching part of it is we want to be in contact with our own self, which you lost actually, because you said about authenticity.
Right.
You could not be yourself. You have to be someone else, you have to be the role, but you are yourself, right? So when we lose contact with ourselves, this itching can be the symptom. Sometimes even we are not contact with our mother, our father, because they are also going through some emotional stuff in their life, and even that also results into itching. And dermis is the attack conflict. It is called attack. Something that you are attacked and which made you ashamed of. For example, when your sibling, bullying and all that.
And there's additional shame because she was younger to me,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I felt that
Right.
being the elder one, I mean.
Yes.
And
what happens is you are such a good doctor. Now I'm not going to give you the advice to be a doctor, but what happens is after your healing, you may come back to the profession.
I've begun.
And because as a decision, you make a choice to, not because you are being pushed into, but you deliberately choose, and where you fulfill that role with a much more, broader vision and insights and wisdom.
So you think this could heal?
Yeah.
This could heal.
This could heal. This could heal. Just observe, and particularly the psoriasis, and also
I haven't been on any medication for the last 1 year. I stopped the chemotherapy after the 3rd cycle.
Yeah.
12 cycles were recommended, but I didn't feel aligned anymore.
Yeah. Generally, something related to the blood, anything related to the blood, it's a blood ties. Something we need to heal the family relationships. Any disorder in the blood, it conveys something related with that, particularly the white blood cells. It's about
myeloid. I had acute myeloid leukemia.
Yeah, acute myeloid leukemia. So you need to look at those because there's a logic behind every symptom.
I did process that through last year, so that part is done. But this is something that's been for very long, and it's come back with a vengeance after the chemotherapy.
Correct. Yeah.
So the healing happened because the immune system was suppressed by chemo. I was completely okay. So that confirmed that it is immune related.
You can give yourself time to meditate every day, few hours that I recommend. It's 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 3 hours. It's going to be very helpful for your body to recover completely. And there are no impossibles, actually. Thank you. Appreciate your sharing, doctor. That's wonderful.
The effect of this meditation we have just gone through just now.
Yeah.
Is it the effect of that she's liberating her?
Correct. She
was never probably couldn't do it.
Couldn't share it with the world. It's like inside her, everything in her system. Sometimes something want to be expressed out authentically because she could straight away tell about everything that happened in her life. Generally, we hold ourselves back and we keep it like a secret. It's like a treasure chest and something is hidden inside, but something huge that it's a big relief kind of thing. And before that, I will share some slide, and after that, I'll be talking to you. So, the last bit of it, before we take the lunch break, it may take another 5 to 7 minutes, okay? So, hologram is nothing but the principle as above, so below. As within, so without. Brahmand is in Pindand, Andande, Pindande, and Brahmande. So, whatever is there in the macrocosm is there in the microcosm. Whatever is there in the microcosm is there in the macrocosm. So, that's the principle called holographic principle. So, whatever is shown in your body as a symptom, it is the microcosm. But what's happening, you have a distorted, hologram which contains information which is distorted, like a limiting beliefs, a wrong negative beliefs, distorted perceptions about life, all that. So when we correct that, the holographic field, we are changing that hologram, your body changes itself. So the first step is focus on that sensation, illness, or limitation issue that you have. It can be applied to any field, my dear friends. It could be even financial issues. It could be relationship issue. It could be anything. We can use this holographic methodology. The second step is every problem that we perceive as a problem in our life, we can locate it in the body because there is a correspondence. We feel heavy in a certain part of the body. We may feel some kind of cramping feeling. Some sensation appears in the body. Locate it and feel it in the body. This is the second step. Even if it is a health issue, for example, that sensation is a specific location in the body, and there is a specific intensity. From the scale of 0 to 10, if you grade it, you will know, is it 5 or more or less, you will know it. And describe about it. Our problem can be quantifiable, measurable, right? You can measure it. For example, is it deep or superficial? Some may think it's a very superficial. Some may feel it is a deep. Some may feel it as just the middle. It's neither deep nor superficial. Ask it, is it heavy or light? Because you are quantifying it. Feel it in the body and is it heavy or light? That health issue, is it heavy or light? Some may consider that because their inner perception is very heavy, it's a big. Or is it bigger than the body or smaller than the body? Again, measuring, is it big and small? What would be the color of it? This is a very important thing. What would be the color of this issue which you are trying to locate, measure it in the body? What color would you give to it? Most of the times we have our inner mind's eye will perceive the problem with a certain color. And what would the shape of it? If it had a shape, what would be the shape of it? What form, what image, what kind of appearance it will have? Some, they give human shapes. Some, they say that it's a geometrical shape, irregular, it's like pentacle kind of thing or a triangular shape. They give a shape to it. So the color and shape, and is it deep or superficial, heavy or light? So you are quantifying that problem. Next step is detach it from the body. Because you are not your sickness, friends. Disease is there in your body, but you are not the disease. Right? You can detach that form and shape, which you've given the color and shape, detach it from the body, see it as separate from you. That way you will know that you are not your disease. We are not that sickness that is existing in our body. Generally we get so identified with it. Oh, now we have tags attached, I am diabetic. We have the special identity. I am epileptic, I am hypertensive. We all have some tags, labels attached, and so you are not that disease. It is there as a limitation, as a trigger to know something, because there's something that you need to give attention to it, which need to be transformed. So the next step is dialogue with this color, form, and image. This is an important step. This color shape can be asked some questions. It is existing, that illness as a messenger is existing in your life because it wants to give you a message, wants you to wake up. That trigger, that limitation is waking you up. Something in you need to know. So allow past impressions to come to the surface, just like how Dr. I don't know your name, Parul. Dr. Parul shared all the past impressions that came up to her. In the same way, when we are dialoguing with that, shape and form, all the past impressions which are related, corresponding to this particular problem, they come up. And we need to be a watcher, observe all that. And generally the programming memories will come up. Our subconscious mind is programmed. The seed of this sickness is sown at a very, very younger age. But it's dormant. When the fertile conditions, all the conditions are conducive, suddenly this sprouts. The triggering conflicts is making that to be expressed at that moment. Till then it is dormant inside us. So, what is the message, lesson, of positive intent behind this negative expression? Because everything that's happening in the universe as a negative situation, negative event, there is a positive intention behind it. What is that positive lesson, message, intent? We need to ask that. This is going to liberate us from the cycle of this pattern of illness. Transform now, after learning that lesson, in this 7th step, transform to different color, shape. Because you are now ready. The lesson which is learned is so important, it needs to be integrated. At that point of time, we can change that form, color. Earlier, you were giving a triangle which is blue color. Now you may change that into a pyramid and a golden pyramid. It's like a whole holographic field. You are bringing a change because you have the lesson now. And 8th step is let the old image merge into the new image. You are making these two images merge into each other, making that old image contract and become like a minuscule, like a small particle, and dissolving into the old new image. New image, make it big. And so this is the last step. So for example, I ask you, we did one meditation process. If you give a color and shape, what would be the color and shape? First, think about a color. What color comes to you in your mind? White. Okay, some of you white. Some may say it's red. Whatever it is. And what is the shape or form? What kind of shape it contains? It has. Your inner perception. Irregular, you may draw it, you may also think about it. Like a cloud. Some other, like a two shape. 3. V shape. Okay, V shape. Okay. So any color shape that you represent this limitation, okay? This is a very essential step. Now, where do you locate in the body? Which part of the body? This is another question that I want to ask. Which part of the body? If you feel it in the body, which part of the body? Left side, right side, upper part, lower parts of the body? Heart. Some of you heart, some of you some other place, okay? And is it superficial or deep? Deep. Is it heavy or light? Light. Sensation is heavy, yeah. And is it bigger than the body or smaller than the body? Small. Because some they feel it's small, some they feel big. And now detach this color and shape, see it in front of your eyes. If you dialogue with it, what is the message that it gives to you? If you can hear the message, what would you be hearing? If you can understand the message from it, because there is a lesson that is always there behind every negative thing that's happening in our life. There's a positive intent behind it. What is the lesson? Love yourself? Okay, love yourself, because we get lessons from this. That lesson is more important. When we can hear, what happens is you get directly that message that the sickness or symptom wants to give to us. What is the new color and new shape that you would like to give now? Think about new color, new shape. White, what is the shape? Okay, is it diffused white light? Say white, diffused white. Okay. So all of you think about this. What would be the new color, new shape, which symbolically represents health, well-beingness? And finally, can you make this earlier color shape small, like a minuscule, tiny, 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 and then make this new color shape big and let it explode? For 1 minute, we close our eyes and see this now. And just observe as you give attention to that sensation of that related to sickness, giving a color shape to it. You can say that you are the messenger. I see you. Say yes to it. It's a companion who wants you to understand about it, something about it. So right now, see the color and shape. Notice all the sensation, whether deep or superficial, whether it is big or small, light or heavy. Slowly detach it from the body now, this color and shape, and ask the question through your intuition, come to know the answer. What is the purpose of you? What is that you want me to understand? What is the lesson that I can learn from you? Whatever words that comes to you flash into your mind, from your intuition, from your inner heart, listen to it. And before you know what is the source of it, all the stressful memories that happen in your life that belongs to past life or family tree or it is childhood or in the womb, doesn't matter the source of it, but all of them you're ready to let go because it belongs to the past. What belongs to the past, let it be in the past. Right now you are residing in the present moment, and the lesson is more important. At this moment, let this form and shape change into a new form and shape. Let the new form and shape and color emerge. Give all your attention to this color, new form, new shape. This is a liberation from that limitation. It's a freedom from that sickness. In this moment, shrink the size of the old image. Say, thank you. You served your purpose. I set you free. I let you go. I keep integrating this lesson in my life. Thanks for being there to remind me of this lesson. I take responsibility for my self-healing. and make that shrink into like a particle, like an atom, and later on let it merge into this new image, new form, new color. Let this explode in your mind, completely occupying your entire mental space, mind space. And now let that new form, color, shape descend into your body, that particular part of the body where you have sensations, earlier sensations. Let it descend down into the body. This new holographic information which contains resources, which contains new information that you are consciousness, unlimited. You are the energy being, unlimited. You are the wise being. You are the master of your own body, mind, health, and life. At this moment, take 1 more minute observing your in-breath and out-breath, inhalation and exhalation. And you say to your mother and father, thank you for gifting this body. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. Dear mother, dear father, even though I felt some difficulties while I was growing up, and I want to say thank you for bringing me into this life, giving birth to this, creating this body for me. Thank you. And I'm going to live very well in your honor, in your respect. Thank you, dear mother, dear father. "30 seconds with a smile which is coming from your heart, spreading throughout your body, every cell in your body, fully expressing the joy. Okay, my dear friends, whenever you are ready, you may place your hands on your eyes and take your own time to slowly open your eyes. That's amazing, my dear friends. Yeah, sure. We'll have 2 sharings, definitely. Yeah, yes. You can come here. And can it be a little bit short? Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, sir, for everything.
Yeah, welcome.
Sir, actually, I don't know is it relevant or not, but we are talking here about healing our body through a healthy mind. But my question is again, how to have a healthy mind? Like, आप बता रहे हो कि एक अच्छी रेसिपी लाइफ की, उस रेसिपी को बनाने के लिए जो गैस चाहिए, मैं बात कर रही हूँ उस गैस की. लाइक अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ बहुत शॉर्टली, तो आई डोंट हैव एनी फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम. आई डोंट हैव अ सिंगल प्रॉब्लम इन माई बॉडी from head, no, not head, because head is a problem. I don't have any problem in my body.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any problem in my life. If I put it as a recipe, I have all the ingredients for that wonderful recipe which is called life. I have got all the masalas in my life. I am a theater artist. I have a wonderful husband. I have two lovely kids.
Yeah.
So I have everything. I have even the gas, that is my body. I have even that flame, that is my mind. But that flame is not stable, so the recipe is not being cooked. So I just want to ask how to stable the flame to cook that food,
Right.
which I have. I know. I have all the recipe. I know the recipe. I have the ingredients. I have the gas. I have the flame, but not the stable flame.
Yeah.
Please.
So it's a beautiful question, and everything is there, but one element which is missing: the spirit, the soul, the consciousness. Even consciousness exists, but it is unawakened. So everything is there in our life, but something need to be ignited, like a spark need to be there. That fire, the flame need to burn, then that's how everything is now prepared. So even in our life, everything is there, but still there's something which need to be connected. All things need to be connected. And what is the connecting factor or the uniting factor in all the elements that we have is the soul and the spirit, which is going to be happening with spiritual path or meditation path. So that's why I highly recommend all of you to keep meditating. Anapanasati is a simple form of meditation. I learned it from Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, and I continue to practice this every day, because we keep learning so much. That brings the whole transformation. And because the mind, also behind this mind, beyond this mind, there is this soul, which is far more richer and powerful. Even this mind receives all that energy. Mind to function also, that soul need to be awakened. And our buddhi need to be awakened, that spirit soul need to be awakened. So only through meditation it happens. Thank you for this question. And sir, your last sharing, and then right.
I would like to add her perspective also. Actually, I was diagnosed hyperactive immune disorder. Now, when there is a hyperactive immune disorder, my own healthy cells are killing each other. I mean, for example, own army, there is a killing. So maybe that cause was conflict in my mind. So it also manifested, I will not say psoriasis, but I was having very eczema, very bad eczema. Besides my arthritis problem, actually almost marginalized by 90% by 1980. I got married in 1979. I was doing a lot of yoga. My wife never said that I am feeling pains. But this manifestation of eczema continued up to 2000, maybe 12 or 13. When I started removing conflicts from my mind, maybe whatever it comes, resistance, small provocations, it happened. So my eczema also disappeared.
Wow.
So this has happened with me. And sir, now one small question to you. We say that the blockages of chakras, we have energy chakras, that causes manifestation of problems depending upon the chakra.
Right.
So whatever process we have gone today is very fine, but whether we should go for chakra healing also, that is one question.
Okay.
And second is that we say that spiritual bypass sometimes happens because meditation, if we do meditation regularly, we may get result after 50 years or maybe in the next life or maybe after 1 hour. So there may be a spiritual bypass. So the processes, and I have lost my memories. Whether my problems had been because of past lives, I don't have any memory. Childhood memories, I have some, but most of the I have forgotten. So how to access that particular information, that particular stress, sir? Whether the processes, sir, which you are practicing and you are helping many masters, I'll say, sir, you are a great master. So please let us know something.
I will address to these two questions.
I'm sorry, sir.
No problem. And the first question, chakra healing. every chakra has its own function. For example, root chakra, mostly survival issues with the root chakra. Swasthana is called emotional chakra, all the emotional issues stored in that. So even chakras has its own memories it's stored. That's why when the chakra healing, it's also these connected with these issues that we were talking about, the conflicts. For example, Anahata chakra is something relationship dynamics, particularly all that family connections and all the hurts and where our expression of love is stopped, betrayal issues and all that. Vishuddha is an expression, it's called communication center. So I don't see them as something very different. All of them, they come together because they're part of our energy system. All the emotional issues are mental issues, mind issues, memory issues that we carry. It's all connected to energetically going to affect us. So whether we go through the chakra, address through chakra healing, that also is fine. Any method that you choose is perfect. Our goal is, final goal is well-beingness. Whatever that, we make a choice. Some may approach the top of the hill on one way, some they go through this way. Every path leads to finally the same. Our intention must be clear. And the second part of the question is spiritual bypass. Correct, accessing to the memories. Actually, someone who is ready, it happens to you, you have all the access to the memories through your consciousness. Only thing is, our subconscious has such defense strategies, it won't open up unless you say to it, you say to yourself that I am willing and I'm ready. Because actually we can handle all the memories. We are so afraid. And sometimes we feel that if I look into past lives and all that, my life going to be messed up more. This life itself is so much confusion. If I open a past life, another drama, big drama. I don't want to go. So we have those notions. It's all fears only. But there's something that we understand as we open these memories. We understand which such eternal beings. We've been coming back to the earth so many times. I am infinite soul. And mostly this spiritual bypass is not facing our issues, not addressing to the issues. Using spirituality as a bypass mechanism. We meditate, we close our eyes, everything is happy and positive, everything is all right. But nothing is all right. Everything we're keeping under the carpet. And we're pretending that nothing is sad, everything is happy. It's only a mask. People wear spiritual masks. This is called spiritual bypass. And spirituality is about authenticity. We need to really face the issue. And we have that enough resources inside to face everything. When you face it, even a big dragon also, it becomes a big ally to you, a friend. So that's what is the spiritual bypass. And meditation can be utilized. I was doing spiritual bypass when I learned spiritual path from Patriji. Initially, I was meditating. I am super positive. My third eye is open. Everything is good. But I was an escapist in the life. I was not taking responsibilities. My wife was my teacher. Dr. Lakshmi, you will meet her in the afternoon. She said, you are an escapist. Using spirituality, you don't take any responsibilities for. Any problem comes, I dump on Dr. Lakshmi. This is not spirituality is about. Spirituality is taking all the challenges, facing all the responsibilities. And I learned a biggest lesson from Dr. Lakshmi. And I could face my issues which I was postponing. I could never speak to my father before. But after this, I went and sat with my father. I could express my heart out. How I was very fearful about him. How I felt ashamed because he always put high standards for me. Not measuring up to his high standards. I expressed to him. I thought my father will reject me if I say all this. But my father embraced me. I could never speak that before. But I could face and complete every challenge in my life. So this is meditation itself can be uplifting. Meditation itself can be in bypassing also. We need to be aware of this. Instead of using this as a bypass mechanism, like many sannyasis, sadhus, it's better leave the family, the wife, nagging wife, and all troubling children, and go to the Himalayas, meditate. Ashram में जाएंगे and हम meditation करेंगे. So nothing will happen. There also we get the same thoughts. It's not about running away from this life. We need to face. One can be in family, one can be also achieving high spiritual heights. We need to face the situations. But we have enough resources. Our consciousness is the biggest resource. Our consistent practice, regular practice of meditation, we have to be so utterly authentic in this path. Many, they tend to only teach meditation to others. They don't practice meditation. I feel, why are they doing? Oh, we have to serve. But without serving yourself first, without yourself being healed and transformed, how can we also, you will be able to do better job when you also meditate. Practice it first. Practice. Realize yourself and also extend your help to others.